It's story time!
Gather around, come take a seat. There's a tale that's so sweet. Magic words and dreams take flight. We're gonna have some fun tonight. Talk will entertain you with stories old and stories new. Adventures waiting, just unwind. It's story time.
Good, good morning, good evening. Actually, yes. First time we've done this, doing this show in a long time in the night. At night, I thought, what the hey, let's do a Saturday night show and change it a little bit. Let's make it drinks with Doc. And I am here with my beverage of choice, Scotch. And Miss Ray, what is your beverage of choice tonight?
Water.
Water. Yeah, you're the designated driver. You got to get us all home afterwards. So, uh, and if you're at home, and you got a beverage of choice, go get yourself a beverage of choice. Sit down, chill out. What we're going to do, we're going to talk about different things, uh, things that's of interest to all of us. Might be social media, might be pop culture, might be current events, and I think see, Will is in chat, and I'm hoping that will join us because one of the things I was thinking that we might be talking about was that continuation of the lawsuit that's taking place. That I think a lot of people feel it's not just going to go anywhere. It's going to end up just being a nothing burger. That just in my general opinion, and it's just not going to go anywhere.
Did you
And
just say nothing burger?
a nothing burger, yes. Why?
It's just a phrase that absolutely drives me insane. That's all.
Oh, nothing burger drives you insane?
Makes no sense to me. That's why.
Well, that's a nothing burger. I have to do that to you. It appears that Rob's having a little technical difficulties. Uh, I don't know why Rob always has problems getting in on.
It's Restream. That's why. It's gives people issues.
Yeah, yeah. But you heard what I said about why I'm with Restream now and not with the other service.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, maybe if I was monetizing, I was actually bringing in enough income with this, I would probably go back to the other service. But
I wouldn't. It's a ripoff. Doesn't matter how much money you make.
okay, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be laughing.
The
Yeah.
word I was looking for before was public records request. That's what I was
Uh,
trying to say before.
yeah, yes. When we were talking
Yeah.
about, you, yeah, here's a bad thing. So I'm monitoring the chat in the on the show, and of course with the on Restream, and Doug just put a very good comment, and I was going to highlight it. And greetings to Mange Tout from UK. How you doing? But she put in a very good comment. Does the burger at least have cheese? And I'm
Oh, it has to have cheese.
yeah, you always got to have cheese, and it's good to have. Thank you for making the show international. I do appreciate Mange Tout coming up here and sitting with us. Hopefully he's at home enjoying a beverage as well. Hopefully you got yourself a pint and you're enjoying it. And I'm sorry, I do have a cat in my way. So anything new going on with you, Miss Ray?
Um, I'm woefully behind on frauditor stuff because I'm in the hospital more than I'm out of it.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything new.
Now, and I'm gonna tell
Besides
you.
the lawsuit, I don't know anything that's going on.
Yeah, and truthfully, uh, I sometimes have to stop watching them because it seems like certain people's voices just makes me angry,
Yeah.
and
There's that.
yeah, and it's like okay, I gotta stop watching. I don't need to be angry. Don't. It's like if I hear that Siberian pussy cat starting to talk, and I want to just reach through the monitor and slap him. He's like one of those guys that automatically just ticks me off,
Mhm.
and it's not, and it's how he talks to people.
Don't they
He
all talk to people with like negative respect though? I mean, it's
to I think yes, and to some degree yes, but it seems like with some of them it's a whole lot worse. It's uh, it's just so much worse than other folks. And Mr. Thomas is back in there. Let's see if we got him now. Rob, are you working yet? And while we wait for him to respond, we'll continue our discussion.
hi, Mr.
Uh,
Thomas.
uh, what was I saying? It just seems him and then a couple others are just they're they're extra rude. It's like you gotta wonder, does these people's neighbors really like them?
Their neighbors probably hate them.
Yes, that's what I think too. Because how can someone like a Siberian putty tat uh, come up to to just random law enforcement, random government employees, and yell that you're my servant,
Oh,
you gotta do what I say, all that kind of stuff, and not act anything anyway like that around their neighbors.
I don't think a lot of them actually have as much control in their personal life as you think they do.
That might be what it boils down to, or they may not necessarily have control of themselves.
I think they are actually probably pretty much all pussies in their regular lives. That's why they go around bullying people
Mm.
they think are beneath them in other areas.
Or maybe not bullying people that's beneath them, but bullying people that will not respond or cannot respond.
Exactly. Because if they try that with people that can respond, they'll get punched in the damn throat if they talk to them like that.
Yes, definitely can, definitely can. Uh,
Saying,
so uh, that's just it. You see it. They'll push people around in different environments where, okay, yeah, an employee at a city hall, for example, was not going to tell that dude, you know, shut the f up. They're not going to respond to that person in that fashion. They don't because they know that they can lose their job.
right.
But I'm just waiting for the day when they come across that person who just doesn't give a f anymore.
Yep. That one
Uh,
guy who's been, customer facing for 30 years and he's like, this, you're the last one that I'm going to let talk to me like that. And just wails on him. It's like,
mhm.
that is going to happen. And unfortunately, nobody in that place is going to see the employee side of it. Do you know what I mean? It's just
Right.
not going to happen. So,
But not necessarily the employee. It might also be another customer who just can't stand seeing someone being bullied too.
exactly. But it
Uh,
seems like to me, it's not just these days it's not just these frauditors that are going out and talking to people like they're dog shit.
Right.
It's a lot of people that are going out and treating people that are in the service industries and in public facing, public jobs, that they just treat them like absolute dog shit. And they think that they have a right to just speak to people however they want. It's not just frauditors anymore.
Uh, well, that's. I think there is that strong growth of a lot of entitled people out
Yeah.
in our communities. It's not just fraudsters. It's not just.
No,
I think fraudsters are more aggressive with it.
because
Like,
they're recording it for profit. People,
yes, they
they
are.
don't always record their assholiness, but they're out there doing it every day.
And I try to live my life in a way like treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah, just be kind,
Yes,
be
be kind.
understanding, have grace with people.
Yes, be good to people. Um, let's get. I mean, let's talk about a little bit about the First Amendment auditors, people that we might literally say, okay, this guy's doing it in the right way. He's feeling the police, but he's not trying to interact with the
Never.
police.
I mean, there's one I think that I've ever known of that did it in the
Mhm. Yeah.
right
There's
way,
not many. There's not many that we would classify that way because
and
majority of them,
nobody would watch though. That's the thing. There's just so many people out here want to see the world burn.
right? That's what it boils down to is the ones that probably went in for the right reasons. Eventually started doing it to uh, watch things, and I think Rob might be ready to come up. Let's see. Let's see if we can get him talking. Can we get Rob talking? Hello, Rob. Rob, I
Maybe
think
something.
I hear him something, but he's probably too busy trying to hide the chicken from Will because he's probably planning to throw the chicken at Will.
Yes, Dove. Treat humans like humans.
Yes.
Mr.
Okay.
Terry,
Okay. All right. All right. Let me take him down. Turn his mic down a little bit, but we are picking him up, but we are getting horrible feedback echo. I think he may be using speakers and not headphones. So let's see if he's ready to say anything. Rob.
Hello, can you hear me?
yeah.
Okay, now we got you. Now we got you. You got your fried chicken?
Oh my God.
Actually,
He's going to throw a bucket of chicken at Will later on.
I don't
And
think Will's here anymore.
ah, hopefully he'll be in. He's driving back. He's driving, so hopefully he'll be on, and we can actually go into that lawsuit discussion. But Rob is. I'm
can
kind
you
of
hear
upset
me?
with you, Rob. Yeah, Rob, we can hear you great, buddy.
Why
Can you
you
hear
up?
us?
Why you up? I can hear you
Well,
clear. I had to
because
switch to my.
I sent you a good
Uh,
picture for your avatar, and you're not using it.
Shoot, I don't know what's going on. Every time I try to do something with Restream, I have a problem with come just linking in.
Yeah,
So
I'm not. Are you using your iPad?
I'm using my iPad now.
What were you using before?
I was using my phone.
Yeah, it always seems like it doesn't want to behave on mobile devices. It's one thing I've noticed. So it seems like if you're on a computer, it works great. You're on a mobile device, not so much. Not like StreamYard, who has actual app for mobile devices. So that makes a world of difference.
I'm a download that. I haven't downloaded that picture that you sent me, so I'm gonna use it next time.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Uh, that was a good picture. But we were talking about.
Oh,
We were
wait a minute.
talking.
Before we get started, let me ask you a question because I still owe you from yesterday. You paying the exposer to put me backstage, and you paid him
Yeah,
$20.
I paid $2. They were ready to do it in a heartbeat for $2.
I mean, you really sold me out for $2.
Oh boy.
No, no, I didn't sell you out. I just said, hey, put them backstage. I want to see if they would do it.
And they did it. The exposer did it.
But you know what, Rob? If I didn't like you, I wouldn't pick on you.
That's why. That's why I told everybody on the live stream that you drink whiskey from out of a jug, from out
Not
the
whiskey,
jug that they
moonshine. Moonshine,
whatever.
brother. Moonshine. You don't drink whiskey out of a jug. You drink moonshine out of a jug.
He drank the South Carolina moonshine out of the jug, and then he rub it on his sleeve and pass it over to the next person.
Uh huh. Exactly. That's how you drink, bud. That's how you drink, bud.
Uh huh. I got you.
uh, but no, tonight I am enjoying a glass of scotch. And Mr. Thomas, what are you enjoying tonight?
I am drinking some I'm drinking some flavored water actually. Some cherry limeade flavored water.
Okay, so no one's here to enjoy adult beverages. I gotta get Will up here. Maybe you'll have an IPA or something with me.
You mean to tell me Will is here?
I'm I'm hoping he'll come. I really do.
I don't know.
Last we heard, he's
I
driving
don't
home.
know.
So
No, he's traveling home. Remember, he's
oh yeah,
traveling
he's
home.
traveling home. He's yeah,
He's
he's traveling home. Yeah,
he's
that's true.
he's traveling home in his 1984 Mazda X. What is it? 626 with his fans on his head. And but he doesn't have any license. He doesn't have any insurance, any registration. So all this what
Yeah,
you hear on air, don't let that fool you. Will travels, and I made that clear yesterday.
he travels. And does his tags have private tags? Ah, Dove, Dove.
He doesn't.
That is beautiful, Dove. I love that.
Well, he
Oh
well he doesn't. Well, you know. Well, that's proper. You drink moonshine from mason jar, but unlike Doc, he drink it straight out the still.
no, no, no! You got to put it in the jug first. You got to do that much because you might
Okay,
be loading gas. You might be loading gas, and you got to put it in your car too.
what's the difference for y'all? Y'all drinking from the same jug.
No, no, you
I
got to
mean,
put it
it's,
in the jug. You got to put it in
I
the
mean,
jug.
Doesn't
I,
matter. They're
I
all
don't,
family.
I don't know what it is between you and Jimmy Hag. Y'all like to drink stuff from out of a still.
Wait, now, whoa! Now, don't include me with the Jimmy Hag.
Okay, lucky
Don't.
laptop.
Lucky
But
is
let
actually
me,
Lucky is actually a little bit more bearable than Jimmy Hag, in my opinion. Just, I mean,
yeah,
at least Lucky is funny.
I got law
funny.
books.
Look,
I got the whole books. Woo, woo. Oh, and my favorite one
as
was at one point in time I could have been a federal agent. I heard him say that. I'm like, no.
and speaking of Ray, how you doing, Ray?
I'm all right. I'm home,
That
so that's good.
that's good. That's good. I'm glad that you're home, and I'm glad that you're getting better.
Yeah.
We're laughing because at the hospital I usually am in, they give you these really big, like, plastic cups that they put the water in. and you take them home with you. And I have eight,
Hey,
8 of them. Yeah, they're like my souvenirs. So
well,
Wait,
do you take
are
home
these
the socks that they?
are they what?
Well, yeah, they also give you the
Oh, I
like
got a million pairs of those socks. Yeah,
yeah
because they don't let
when
you
you
wear your own because they don't have the grippies on them.
yeah.
So
Well, those things are comfortable. They're nice to walk around the house with
yeah,
when you want to be barefooted. I'm
and,
just saying.
and and when you say jugs, are you talking about like the water jugs?
I
they're
I was
water, they're cups. I didn't say jug. I'm
Oh,
careful with my wording here. Um, so
so so when I think of jugs, I'm thinking of Hooters. So,
yeah, exactly. I'm not at a Hooters. It's like these clear plastic cups, and they have like the ounces on the side of how much you're drinking.
uh-huh.
So
oh,
Yeah.
you get to, yeah, you get to take them home with you, and I've got 8 of them now.
It's pretty much standard that hospitals get those plastic ones so they can just give it to the family when or the patient when the patient leaves because it's easier to get rid of them than wash them and reuse them.
They want you to have a souvenir from the $100,000
Yeah.
hospital stay.
So am I
what,
hearing Karen in the background?
Yes, that's my sister. She's
Tell
talking
her
at
that.
the
Yeah, tell her that Doc says hi.
doc says hi. She said they said
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
hey, hey, Ray, tell them Doc say what they ask them what they're drinking on.
There you go. Yeah. Ask them if they're drinking any adult beverages.
Diet Coke and Mountain Dew and water.
Well, I guess Mountain Dew is kind of close to being an adult beverage. Wait a minute, they got Mountain Dew over in Oregon?
Yes, they do.
They have
Oh man,
what
my
they have
mind's blown.
what they have
We
hard
are
Mountain Dew. Have
civilized.
y'all seen that?
They have what?
They have hard Mountain Dew. Have you seen that?
No, I
Yeah.
haven't.
Yeah, you get in the stores. You got hard Mountain. You got Mike's Hard Lemonade. They also
Oh,
have like
that's my sister of
the
Ray.
the hard Mountain Dew.
Let's see. Now I'm curious. I want to see what that might be.
Dove, she
You
said
know
hi,
what?
friend of Ray.
You know what, Doc? Since you say you curious now about that, is there something you want to tell us? Are should we start looking for AA classes?
Okay, so here's the thing. I do like my adult beverages, but I want to drink once or twice a week, and even
You
then
mean
it's just
liquor?
one.
I
It's
think he
my
meant
adult
he
beverage.
doesn't drink once or twice a week.
One, yeah, I want to have one and maybe two, but a couple times a week, and that's about it.
No, he doesn't.
It's just that everyone else around me likes to drink a whole lot more.
He has a water glass full of liquor each time that he's on air.
Yes, I do.
A
Well,
water glass. You know how big a water glass is?
I do have my little glass, about
It's a
two
like
ounces
eight
of
ounce glass.
scotch.
Water's 8 ounce glasses for a water glass.
And sometimes he'll just go through McDonald's and ask, "Can I get your 32-ounce cup?"
Oh, I don't think I could drink that much in one setting.
He'll put
Sure,
some
you
ice
can.
in it. Then he'll fill up his 32-ounce cup full of whatever he drinking on, whiskey, moonshine, you know. Or better yet, if you want to go back even further, probably even Muscatel or Ripple.
Oh my God, Ripple. Ugh.
Mm.
He
Okay.
has nothing to say. You made him speechless.
I know. I'm looking up where how to find some hard Mountain Dew because I'm going to be getting some.
Oh, hard Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
Okay.
And that
it's a hard not
that
to
was
store.
Rob's fault. But I'll be good. I'll get the sugar, zero sugar kind.
Why you can't drink the regular?
I'm trying. I said I'll be good by getting the sugar, zero sugar, so I
You
can.
know, if you're really interested in drinking somebody, you really need to. You really should tune in to Katie's Eggs and K-Fars.
I do.
I, you know,
That's just it though. I do provide a good amount of body cam footage for them.
I mean, getting drunk with Katie's Dad and K-Far on Wednesdays and Fridays. Well, at least on
Hmm.
Fridays.
At least on Fridays. Wednesday's a little bit more. Uh, well, Katie Farr might drink a little bit, but Katie said she behaves because she's got work on Thursday, which I can't blame her.
Look,
For
can
me
I ask,
personally,
let me ask you and Ray a question.
okay.
Can you imagine if Hez was drunk, how he would literally sound if he had too much alcohol?
Oh, look, I mean,
I
can you
mean,
imagine? I mean, can we imagine if you were intoxicated?
oh, I've been intoxicated before.
Oh, I mean,
When I
yeah. But I'm just saying,
without
I never seen or heard you being intoxicated. I would be
I
curious to
was
see how you were.
I
Would
was
you get?
you
What
when
I would want to
it
see is Hez drunk and then what he would make the voodoo doll say. Oh, gross.
Hearing Carrie in the background, like, oh, gross. It makes me wonder what she was saying. Oh, gross too.
no, I mean can you I'm like, cause you know when I was on stream with him a few weeks ago, I even asked him. I'm like, do your neighbors actually ask you what you're doing early in the morning? I'm like, because are you really getting paid? So you know, because I just want to know what are your neighbors hearing. I mean, you know, because if I
If
was the
I
neighbor, I'd be
was
like, what is going on with him next door?
Yeah, if I was the neighbor of Hez and I didn't know him, I would avoid eye contact at all costs. I would just be like, no, no, nope.
Okay. Okay, Hez. You go there and have fun with your dolls.
I mean, so what is tonight's topic though? I mean, you know, since
Tonight's
you know, you're
topic
not.
is pretty. It's well, truthfully, my goal was just to have a fun evening of just hanging out and talking. Whatever came to our
I'm just
mind.
hanging out and talking.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, too bad. Too bad Will is not here because I sure have a lot to say to him again. Since I
I,
promised since I promised the exposer yesterday I was gonna be nice, which I did. I kept to my promise until the end of the show, which contractually I did say to the end of the show.
yeah, yeah, you did hold off. You did not start until the end of the show. Which
I mean, I
uh,
told him I was gonna.
Guys,
I
guys, I
I
will be
kept it
right
nice.
back. I gotta change my headphones.
okay, no
Alrighty.
worries. But yeah, the that was a entertaining show yesterday. Uh, this has caught my interest because I'm going to tell you truthfully, I'm not a fan of Father Stroll. I don't think I always felt his work was slacking, in my opinion. Uh, and uh, and of course, I definitely don't care for uh, Cordova. I think he's just a
Well,
Looney Tune.
Florida the Troll. Well, Florida the Troll. If you go back and you look at his first videos, his first videos, you know, you can see he put in a little bit more effort when he first started. It just seemed like he just went a little bit down. Went a little bit down. I still watch Florida the Troll. I just watched the Florida the Troll video today of Kansas City Accountability getting arrested in front of because filming the bank.
Uh huh. Right. But the thing about Fraud Patrol is before I stopped watching him, his videos were intro, and let's just say this is the intro. Here's a frauder doing something stupid, which is in
Yeah.
essence what his intro said. Then you see the video of the frauder doing just something stupid. Then there's an interruption with a brief comment. and then some more of the video, and then the outro. Thank you for watching, uh, and that's it. Not a lot of stuff from Fraud to Troll, in my opinion.
See, but
And then you talk about Josh Prime, Josh Prime channels where he's doing body cam videos.
yeah.
I watched a couple of those, and they were nothing more of an intro, the body cam video from another channel, and then an outro.
See, but the body cam videos, I don't think you have to do too much to them, do you? Because those are for
Well,
you.
well, here's the thing: the channels that get those videos directly from the police department, yes, they FOIA them, but they also have to pay a fee to get them,
Uh huh.
and because that costs some money. They get them and they put them on there, and people watch those, and they get that's how they get their money back is by people watching it. But if you got someone like Josh, a channel like Josh Prime, who's taking your video that you had to go purchase to get and then edit and make it entertaining, and all that he's doing is throwing an intro and a outro, and maybe covering up your logo with his, so people would not know it's your stuff. He's in essence stealing from those other channels.
Well, in all fairness, though, I have seen other anti-fraud channels that do that, like Van Valiant, for instance. I've seen Van Valiant, blur out, other police
But
cam video, their
but
logo.
but
But he
he's
leaves,
doing a lot
but he
more
leaves,
commentary to it.
yeah, but
He's
he
doing
leaves a link to the original video. Now it's nothing from, I guess, from what Lucid Dream, Lucid Lair said, or either Exposer said last night. It's nothing, in the YouTube policy say you have to leave a link, but but Fraud of the Troll says where the video is coming from.
Uh, yeah, well, yeah, and I think if you're going to do a video where you're criticizing another creator's video, you should at least bare minimum acknowledge that creator, and maybe you put a link to their video in the in the in your video description. That way, if someone really wants to see the original, you know what this person put out compared to what you may have edited to make it and to make it your own, so they can be a little bit better informed. They can do
Yeah.
that. Or if someone like, let's just say we start covering, well, Eagle Nick. Starts covering Eagle Nick. Now, I don't think Eagle Nick as a true frauder. He's just a homeless old kook who hangs out underneath the bridge, and he just starts spouting out silly nonsense. And all you can do is just laugh at him. And I can tell you right now, the folks, good people in Dothan, Georgia. So Dothan, Georgia, where he's at? Yeah, the good people there, the police department there, know who he is, know he's Sky Channel, and they kind of will roll their eyes a little bit. Hey,
And the
Stefan,
thing
how's it
is,
going, my friend?
even Katie Zed know who he is. I'm like,
Well, Katie said finds him entertaining.
and
Katie said, Katie,
you running your live stream against two other live streams also. You running against Katie Z, who's also live, and you also running against Shane's
Katie's
Dumb
still up.
Criminals.
Really? Katie's still alive right now? I did not know that. I'm trying to change things up a little bit on my channel, and Katie's normally not live on
I
Saturdays.
No, what she was live earlier. I guess she reporting on. I guess she's doing live because she was at one of the protests that was in her town going along the sidewalk, and she was just talking to a few people and just seeing what it
Yeah,
was like down there. Also, it was peaceful protesting. That's what most of it was.
yeah, yeah. I see that. I'm looking at on YouTube, but now I see where, yeah, she's live, and but I did not want to
I'm,
get into that myself, so I just
you know, I have a good idea for you. When you start your lives, you should go. If it's gonna be on Saturday, you should say, you should live. What is it? Live story time with Dark Laneau. Almost like live from New York on Saturday night. You should scream it and make sure to get everybody's attention.
right. You were talking about scaring people half to death.
Well, if you want to take it that way, but you don't have to really scare them.
Well, that's just it. Uh, I guess I'm a little bit laid back. I'm trying to be. Well, I'm a laid back individual. Uh, I like things to be cool and everything else. Uh, Now, I did find an interesting little news article. Actually,
What's going on? One second,
Uh,
man.
ChatGPT actually wrote this article for me, and I thought, you know what, it might be good to hear this article. Uh, and I thought, maybe this is about the lawsuit. I really wanted Will to be here, but we're 40 minutes in already, and Will's not here yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this article. And
His his little soft set mobile probably broke down on the side of the road. So what he's probably trying to do is figure out how to get back on. And
all right, well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we hear about? This is an article about the lawsuit that's getting ready to take
but
place. This guy
real
named
quick though,
this.
real quick though, you ever notice that the soft sets or the Moorish American wears that look like a bucket of KFC chicken turned upside down?
Well,
I
I
told
know
him
you.
I
You're
told
just
him that
you're
it
getting
looked just
ready.
like a bucket of chicken.
I would just. You remember that court case where that guy threw the fried chicken at the other guy? I was mad about that one.
Oh yeah, it kind
But
of find out it was just the work. 'Cause these two all yeah, there was a work because those two always do videos. The whole thing when they went on, what is it? The judge, um, the court show.
yeah,
All that
well,
was a
yeah, I'm not
work,
quite sure. Yeah, but here we go.
but it was
Here's this. Here's I'm putting this news article on. Here we
uh
go.
huh.
This is big news, guys. YouTuber sues fraud or troll for copyright infringement over police accountability. Video San Francisco, June 3, 2025.
YouTuber sues fraud or troll for copyright infringement over between two corners of YouTube has landed in federal court.
Cordova, known online as Denver Metro Audits, filed lawsuit against Canadian-based content creator Jonathan Hunialt, who operates under the alias Fraud or Troll. Filed
And real quick, you start coming back through my feedback there, Rob. I had to mute you for a moment. So if you're watching on another device, you may want to mute that for a moment.
I don't have anything on. That's probably right. You in the back. I don't have anything on.
Okay, well, let me play this.
filed in the
some more.
Northern District of California.
Filed in the Northern District of California. The lawsuit accuses Hunate.
Yeah, it's coming through you. I can see you light up when it starts coming through. So I'm going to mute you for now, and I'll bring you back. Okay.
Of willfully infringing on Cordova's copyrighted video by republishing over 27 minutes, more than half of the original 48-minute work. The video, titled Another Chad Exposed, worthless Denver cops assaulted, was published on Cordova's channel to spotlight alleged police misconduct and promote government accountability. Unalt's repackaged version, Fraud or DMA, gets confronted by angry citizen. Hilarious. Adding minimal sarcastic commentary according to the complaint, and was monetized through YouTube ads. Cordova claims the reposted content was neither transformative nor educational and failed to provide credit or direct viewers to the original source. This isn't commentary, it's theft dressed up as ridicule, said Cordova's attorney, Reynolds Newman. In the 13-page complaint, the defendant's model relies on mocking others while profiting from their creative labor. Cordova, who is part of a larger YouTube movement of so-called First Amendment auditors, alleges the infringement is part of a broader pattern in which anti-auditor creators such as Frauder Troll exploit legal gaps in the Digital Millennium Copyright Act and these creators often file DMC counter notices stalling enforcement while knowingly using unregistered or newly published content. Cordova claims that after he submitted a takedown notice in June 2023, Hunault filed a counterclaim asserting fair use, a move that forced YouTube to reinstate the video due to timing issues around copyright registration. Cordova has since registered the video and now seeks a court ruling affirming that the use was infringing. The complaint seeks monetary damages, a permanent injunction, and declaration that Hunault's use of the video violates U.S. copyright law and is not protected by fair use. No immediate response has been issued from Hunault or his representatives. A jury trial has been demanded. This is big news, guys. I will show the receipts next time.
Rob, what do you think?
Can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah. I unmuted you.
Yeah. Yeah, because I hear a lot in the background too, but I don't know how it's in me because I got nothing on. I got no
It was
TV
coming.
on.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it was. I could see it was coming through your on your feed. So I don't know why or how it was coming through. I just said,
Rob, are you wearing headphones or do you just have the sound on?
I'm wearing headphones.
I don't know.
anyways, yeah, it was kind of that was kind of why I muted you. So because it was has stuff, but a wicked echo, and so I figured it had to be something on your end that was picking up that audio.
I think
And
it's
reply.
Restream. I think it's them. They do it a lot. It happens a lot.
Yeah, it's just I've tried different services, and the one that I was trying before this one, which I liked because it had closer, more of these StreamYard features, but the echo was horrible. This is every episode. Someone, at least one person on the panel, was echoing so bad that we couldn't fix it. So I had no other choice to say, okay, I gotta get rid of these guys. I can't use you. That
You
being
know,
said,
that little piece that you just played. Where did you
uh,
play it from?
I played it from the video storage in the within Restream.
That could be it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't put it through Windows Share or whatever, and that could also be it. Plus, I just found it very interesting that that particular voice reading the article. So that
I found
so,
his pronunciation of Jonathan's last name interesting.
honestly, I wouldn't even try to pronounce the last name. So I just my 2 cents worth. I would not even try. Jonathan could sit there and tell me how to pronounce it 20 times, and I still wouldn't try it. It's like
Exactly.
I'm just gonna call you Johnny H and be done with it, dude. So, but that so I got some interesting. We got some interesting things happening coming up. Oh yeah, he dropped again. Hopefully he'll pop back in. But we got some interesting things coming up here next few weeks.
Who does?
Well, I do, and I think, but and indirectly, it may actually affect you. Uh, so, uh, so I'm going to try and look at doing this more on Saturday nights. Hopefully, we can have see I can get if I can get audience to grow on Saturdays. and I am going to be going on vacation on July 5th in a state known as Oregon. I don't know if it's a fine state or not. I guess I'll find out real soon. And I'm going to be there on July 5th, which is a Saturday. And my game plan is on that day, uh, do another Saturday night show, but probably do it 7 o'clock local time, which would be 2 hours later than what I normally do.
What?
Uh,
We are earlier. Yeah, late. Well, it would be 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern, otherwise known
exactly.
as Rob time. Yeah.
Yeah, 10 o'clock raw time. So, 9 o'clock David's time. Uh, I would think Arizona's 8, is in mountain, so 8 o'clock
I
Dove's
don't.
time.
Arizona confuses me on what time it is there. I never know.
Yes. So I was thinking I might just do at 7 o'clock uh, Oregon local time, live stream on the 5th. And we are talking about possibly, if the moon and the stars line up right, getting together a little bit. And if that happens, I want us to do a live stream just together.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yes. It might be just 20, 30 minutes of us, hey, we're here, cool, this is what we're doing, and just having a little conversation. But and of course that we can't say what time we're going to do it because uh, I know we talked about a couple different things. But some of the things I was telling you I was planning to do, and a couple of them kind of piqued your interest.
Only because I didn't know that stuff existed in my own state. That's all.
Well,
But
yeah.
in my defense, I've only been here 2 years. So
Well, yeah. Uh, it's kind of like, okay, I'm coming in for a week. I'm going to try and maximize that week as much as I can. So one of the things I'm doing is I'm researching what's going to be near me. What can I do that would be fun? Uh, because I know at night the whatever we when the day's over with, we're back at the cabin, back at the resort. There's not much of a nightlife in that area, so it's more or less it's going to be dinner and probably going to bed. We'll probably be getting up early and doing some hiking, some uh, enjoying the mountains of the area, enjoying some of the wines. And well, I'm not a wine drinker, but I'm going to find the distilleries.
there's a lot of wineries here. There's a lot of good ones, but there's also a lot of bad ones. So
Right.
wisely. Yeah.
Yes. So we're going to definitely be hitting some of the wineries. Like I said, I'm not a wine drinker. I'm more the hard liquor drinker. Uh,
Yeah, but
and
here it's more like the whites and the blushes that you'll really want to try.
right, oh yeah, yeah. She's going to want those wines, and she's going to want. She's going to have fun with that. And I found the Distillery Row in Portland,
Yep.
so we're going to be hitting that. Down there,
We have one here too in our good old capital. We have one too.
Portland's not the capital of Oregon,
Salem.
so Salem's the capital.
Yes.
Oh, that's
You
interesting. I
think
did not.
tell me you didn't think it was Portland.
Hey, I don't know anything about Oregon. The only thing I know about Oregon is that Oregon State, our university mascot is the Beavers, and,
Yeah.
my university is known as the Gamecocks, but we shorten it sometimes to the Cocks. And I always want to see the Beavers and the Cocks playing in football.
Lord have mercy.
I just say, hey, just or you're that where you might see the Trojans and Cocks playing. The Trojan defense is covering the Cocks really well.
You mean I'll look for a few minutes and this is what I come back to? In the words of Cleveland Brown from Family Guy, that's nasty.
Have fun. Hold on a second. Stefan, I wouldn't expect you to know that, though. Somebody who lives in our own country, on the other hand, should know the capitals of the states.
No, no. I live on the other side of the country. I live on the other side of the country. Shoot, think about it.
I'm horrible at capitals too, so don't worry about it. I would have had no idea.
Oh,
Say
I'm going to say this. Back
Isn't
in
it?
1800, it was easier to remember the capitals of the states than it is today.
You think so?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Back in
Well, is
1800.
well, is David E. Persons here? We should ask him. He was around in the 1800s.
This is true.
Yeah. Oh, this
I was
does look
making
kind of.
I was ma- I was making old jokes to David E. Persons Friday when he was on his show Friday. I was making old jokes then, so he knows where I'm coming from.
Yeah, yeah, he knows. He knows. I found some equipment the other day at one of my offices. Some things that were so old that I know it came over with the Mayflower.
Really,
But yeah, it
I'm
was.
just waiting for I'm just waiting to get back on Florida Comedy Show because I'm gonna ask her when she took her first cruise, was it on the Nina, the Pinta, or the Santa Maria? Because she said
He
she
honeymooned
said
on the
right.
Mayflower.
She she literally asked, "Can she sit at the captain's table with Columbus?"
Actually, I heard that this she was. Oh gosh, I kind of did say this one. I want to make sure I say it. It's funny concept. She actually was on the Nile, and they had the guys had to row faster when she wanted to go water skiing.
They had to do what now? Wait a
They
minute.
had to they had to row faster when she wanted to go to water skiing.
Okay.
Okay, I know that didn't come out wrong. Right.
I got what you said, but I'm picturing it. That's what I'm doing. I'm picturing it.
You're picturing her water skiing with a Roman cruise rowing.
Have a
But
good one,
anyway,
Doug.
before we get off,
Bye.
Hey, yeah, take care. Yes,
Miss
it's always good to
Yeah,
see
if
the
you
It's always
best,
know,
good.
there's a fun fact. Hold on, there's
the
a fun fact, Stefan, that David actually helped name the 13 colonies.
David, that you.
I could do you. I could do you one better. You know that David E. Persons was around when the Magna Carta was written, and that was way before the Constitution.
He was spell checking the Magna Carta, because
Well, he had the pins.
David.
He had the pins, so yeah, he could spell check. Yep, good spell checking.
I bet yet. Do you know that? Did you know that David E. Person is actually over 500 years old? I mean, I guarantee you, David E. Persons can tell you all of the good things that he witnessed in history. You know, he the one that sold Lincoln. He sold Lincoln his tickets to the Ford Theater that night.
Yep.
I wonder, do you think David actually got John Wilkes Booth's autograph before the play?
No, that he
No, because
probably served with John Wilkes Booth.
yeah, he's the one that pushed him, so he broke his leg when he had to run away.
Oh yeah.
See, I'm not gonna say nothing. It's nothing I can say about Ray because Ray is, she's too nice. She's a good person. I cannot say anything about Ray, and I would not say anything about Ray. I like
I'm
Ray. I
not.
really do.
I'm not 500 years old either.
Yeah.
I
Well, see,
know.
here's
You
the thing.
know.
I'm smart
You
enough
know.
to
You,
know. Never tried to guess a woman's age.
I know she's
Hey,
not
Jordan
500
Matt.
years old. You're not 500 years old. You're
Mm-mm.
700 years old.
I'm not a day over 650. I'll have you know.
I just have to do this. I got to do this. Okay, Robert. Yeah, yeah. Quit guessing Ray's age. That's not nice.
I thought y'all knew how old I was.
I know. I know how old you are.
Well, I just took a stab at it.
Well, you were only off by 50 years. So it's fine.
But but that's okay though. But for what I know, Ray came up through the old West though. She was like one of the old saloon girls.
Oh, God. Here we go.
No, she really was. Y'all remember that old TV show on Gunsmoke, the Miss Kitty character? That was Ray.
That Ray was Miss Kitty.
So she was she owned the saloon. She had the people there. She even had the girls. The saloon girls. But she kept a like the little pocket gun that like the women had. And they kept in like the garter belts. She had a
Yeah.
whole pistol in her garter belt.
Oh, excuse me.
Ray had a whole pistol, and then sometimes when she get on the horse, she have a double barrel rifle. Ain't nobody coming up in this long branch but me. Oh
First,
mercy!
I'm
I
a
told you.
rabbit. First, I'm a rabbit. Now I'm Miss Kitty. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, Miss Kitty was cool though. Miss Kitty was cool. I mean, she had, she was dating a U.S. Marshal, so she could break the law and get away with it.
Well, I got a question about that. How long? How many years was Gunsmoke on network TV?
Gunsmoke started in 1950 and it went off the air in 1976, 76 or 77.
My goodness. Came up with
The
that
reason how
fact real quick.
Yeah, he. Yeah,
when you
the fact that he knows, I knew it was over 20 years. And
when you
Miss
live
Kitty.
when you live with somebody that watched nothing but westerns, when I was living with, at that time when my aunt was still when she was still alive, all she watched was westerns. She loved westerns. That's how I know how long Gunsmoke been on the air because she watched it. Then I was trying not to watch it, but it was some of the episodes was very interesting.
So my question is, so because I've watched an episode here and there. Okay, 1976 was a little. Yeah, I was around, but I wasn't. It was kind of a little bit before my time of really sitting down and watching TV.
No,
Uh,
you was from 86.
You got a mouthful of teeth and you're lying through all of them.
Who? Me?
Doc,
Doc was
okay, you
around
know
the
how.
18.
you were watching TV probably since TV was invented. Okay? I don't want to hear that you weren't watching TV in 1976.
He was
Well,
sitting there with Edison when with Edison, was going over the light bulb.
Yep.
but okay, but back so over 20 years. So Miss Kitty and Marshall. What was the Marshall's name? Rob, I know
Matt
you.
Dillon.
Matt Dillon. They kind of sort of had something, but didn't have something.
It
My
was
question
sort of
is,
kind of.
why didn't they never? Why were they ever married? 20 some odd years, never happened.
Well, the thing was, you know, the Marshall Matt Dillon, he did like Kitty. But the problem was his job came before him. Remember now, he was the U.S. Marshal of the Colorado Territory, so he was always on the go. So basically, he didn't have, you know, basically didn't have time for Kitty. Kitty came in second place to his job. But
Well,
when Kitty
okay,
got, but when Kitty get kidnapped or something happened, he will stop what he doing and go see what's wrong.
okay. Well, all right. I'm gonna go another step here. Annie Taylor and Miss Crump. They
Well,
dated
they
for several
yeah,
years. They dated several years in the Annie Griffith show. They finally
uh,
did get married at the end.
yeah, they did.
Yeah. So why didn't I mean seriously?
Do you know the term "jump the shark"?
Yeah, I am familiar with that term. It originated from the Happy Days when Fonzie literally
Yes.
jumped the shark.
and it ended the show. So
Right.
I think if they had gotten married, people would have lost interest in that particularly storyline, and it would have jumped the shark.
We would,
Right.
yes. And just if anyone in the audience don't know what that means, jump the shark. It's basically at what point did this show starts losing its people started losing interest in the show.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's like every time on a sitcom somebody'd have a baby, jump
yeah,
the shark.
jump the
So
shark. Yeah,
yeah,
but and it was the episode for Happy Days. It was the episode that Fonzie jumped over a pool of sharks or of a shark. So that's kind of
Uh,
where that show started losing its appeal to people.
when it went downhill, yeah.
Yes,
okay.
it's kind of like
Okay. Let me ask you y'all both of y'all. Let me ask y'all a question. What is y'all all time favorite TV show?
oh gosh, that's a good question. Here's the thing, my list changes so often because sometimes you get something that really hits that's really was good, like Andor, which is a Star Wars series, was really good. I would not call it my all-time favorite, but I would highly recommend. And then there was another series on Netflix that very very good. What was the name of it? Good lord, Department Q. If you got
Hmm.
Netflix, check it out. It's a really good show. It's a very 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 good show. But I think my all-time favorite show, believe it or not, was Three's Company. Something about that
Okay.
show. I mean, I don't know. I love that show. Uh, I saw it was on Peacock not too long ago, and I just basically watched every episode when I had like a little bit of time where I could sit down and maybe watch one or two episodes. I sat down and watched those episodes, and it's kind of strange watching a show that I enjoyed when I was a kid. Uh, and I picked up a lot of the episodes during syndication, not when they were actually on the net on ABC. But I, but I'm watching these shows and thinking, God, good Lord, we were very very simple back then.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, you only very simple because back then you only had three TV stations, right?
Yeah.
well, not just that. Well, it's not just that. It's just that the comedy was slapstick. It was kind of you know just in general. You find your favorite show from back in the day. There's something that you enjoy watching growing up, and just kind of watch it like you would be watching that show, and compare it to something of today, and you'll say, "Wow, we are very different today."
Yeah.
I like
I,
true crime shows. My current
Oh,
favorite
you
is
do?
yes.
well,
Which one?
the only true crime show I watch is Katie Said, which is live on Sundays at 6:30 my time, 7:30 her time, and
Do
that
you
is a
ever
very
do Ray? Do you ever watch the first 48?
Yeah. I watched First 48, Dateline, Snapped. So I wouldn't mess with me. Um, I learned what mistakes not to make.
So in other
yeah.
words, you know how to off somebody and get away with it.
I have no comment.
You hear that, Doc? I wouldn't mess with Ray. She know how to off you.
I, well, I'm going to tell you, I know she's associated with some people.
See what she gonna do is
She's associated with some people in waste disposal.
she what like Dexter.
Yeah, I actually love that. I love Dexter, and I
I,
love the series that come after Dexter, like Original
Oh,
Sin and Origins. It those you got to watch. You
oh,
do.
okay. I seen the original sin. That's the one that basically where they had oh gosh, what's this guy's name? The one that played Harry. Uh,
Yeah.
uh,
Yes.
gosh, say his name, please say his name.
Um. That. What's his name? That played the father, right?
Yeah,
Dexter, original sin, the father.
Christopher
Jason Slater, Christian Slater.
Christian Slater. Yes, thank you. And guess who just popped into the house?
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
Hey,
how's
What's
it
going
going?
on?
We're just having an interesting conversation about Dexter right now.
Dexter, really?
Yes. Yeah, I did see the original sense, but I saw the one that where his son grew up. Did they have
oh
enough?
yeah, they're coming out with another one in July. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, oh! I can't wait for that because
All
that's
about the it's been all about the reboots lately when it comes to TV.
it has been. Yes, it has been. I would love to see if they reboot Three's Company. Just to, but then again, I'll probably be very, very disappointed with it.
I heard that they're remaking the Green Mile though, and that really ticked me off.
Oh, the Green Mile was done.
You don't mess with a good one like that. I mean, the original
No,
Green Mile with Tom Hanks in it, that was
that was
a
good.
tearjerker, but it was just that's just one movie in my view that you just don't mess with.
It was
Right.
done.
And
It
Yeah.
was.
they're redoing Shawshank Redemption as well, and I'm just beside myself. I'm like, come on.
Yeah,
You see
I
what they
agree with
do?
that.
You see they just not they announced the other day they doing Spaceballs too.
Yes, I saw
I'm
that.
waiting for that.
I'm
Yeah,
so excited for
I,
that. Spaceballs
yeah.
2,
Spaceballs too. Yeah,
2027, I think
Seven,
it's coming out.
yeah.
2027.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
2027. Did you
Oh
see the
gosh,
yeah, I'm
trailer
wait.
for it?
I did not see the trailer.
Oh, that
No.
was classic.
Oh
You
yeah.
have to go and see the trailer that they have out for it. It's amazing. It's funny. It's
Would
everything you would expect from it.
would he be
Yeah.
doing his character? Would he be doing his character yogurt in
I
He's
think
Spaceballs?
yeah,
already
yeah,
committed. He's not going to
yeah.
be. He's 98. I think he's 96 or 98 years old now, and he is already committed to playing yogurt in Spaceballs 2.
Hmm. Wow.
I
I
got
was wondering
you
about
that
that
because
too. Yes.
if
If I could get someone find that trailer and share their screen, I'll want to play that. Well, no, I can't do that. That might be
Just-
that might
My Schwartz is bigger than yours. Yeah.
well that might be an issue if I play that. I don't know because
Yeah,
that
I
would be
wouldn't.
copyrighted. Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
copyrighted material. Even playing it a little bit and interrupting your, that's too much. That I can't do that. Oh well, but I will definitely go find that trailer and watch it because I have not seen the trailer. I've just heard about it just like
no,
yesterday.
because in the original movie, because John Candy was in the original movie, right?
Yes, he
Yep.
was. He was Barf.
Yeah, I just wonder who's gonna play that part since John Candy is no longer here,
Well, what
or
you
is
would
it?
probably do, you would get someone else to play Barf Jr. Have yes, Barf has passed away, but Barf Jr. Is the son of Barf. And you can find
Yeah, because
somebody. I would think Josh. You know who I think would probably be good at that part? It would be Josh Gad. And I think everyone's like, huh, who?
yeah, I'm like, well, who is that?
Yeah, I think. Well, he's a little chunky, but he's not overly. He's not Russell Pinkerton weight.
No, what I want to say, I'm just glad that they was able to get Rick Moranis to come out of retirement to play his character
Yeah,
again.
yes. I mean, I got and that's my respect that they got him to come out of retirement, but B why he is in retirement too. So hey, it's great that he's coming out for that part that role.
But let me
Oh,
be
Uh,
you
honest
also
with you.
got it. I'm sorry, Mr. Thomas.
I, I I I just want to say, let me be honest with you. I did not know who Rick Moranis was until I saw Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I did not know he was in Spaceballs till I went back and watched it years ago. I'm like, that's the guy from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah. During the '80s, Rick Moranis was pretty. He was in a lot of different stuff. Uh, so he was a very very yeah he was in there. So no girl, you were saying something.
Yeah, you were saying about John Candy, who played Barf in the original Spaceballs, being no longer with us.
Uh huh.
You forgot one more person, the
Joe.
voice
Oh,
of the voice
John
of Dot
Rivers.
Matrix, Joan
Yeah.
Rivers.
Yes. Yes, that's true.
That's right.
John's been gone for a while too. I think. I think that situation though. Well, yeah, I did forget about her. Uh, So yeah, they would have to find someone else to be a voice, or maybe replace Dot Matrix with some other android. Uh,
I don't, I don't know why when y'all
yes,
mentioned Joan, when I mentioned Joan Rivers, I just because I don't Joan Rivers, she was hilarious. I love Joan Rivers.
yeah. Oh yes. Oh, Stefan did point out something about something. Mr. Thomas, have you ever watched the original Ghostbusters?
Yes, I have. I've seen it so many
Rick
times.
Rick Moranis was in that too.
Yeah, he was in that one. He was in that.
Yes, he was. He played that little dorky guy that lived in the same building that had a little love interest in Sigourney Weaver. Of course, she didn't really notice him, but he noticed her.
Yeah, and he was in the Ghost when he was in Ghostbusters 2 also.
Yes, he
I think he
was.
was.
Yes. Yeah,
Right.
yes, he
Yeah,
was.
because he was.
There was one. Which Ghostbuster was it that he dressed up as a Ghostbuster because he was going to go help bust the ghosts?
It was the
It
second
was.
one. He played
It was the
Lewis
second one.
Tully, the accountant.
That's right. It
Yes.
was the because I think the Ghostbusters was captured and he had to go. He literally had to go out
He
there
had
and
to
do
go.
some stuff.
He had. Yeah, he went out to help to save the day.
Because
And
Vigo was taking over.
yeah. Oh yes. And now, Nerd Girl, we were talking about our favorite show. So, what was your favorite show?
My favorite show growing up as a kid, and I have a very guilty pleasure of still watching it sometimes, Law& and Order, the original.
The original Law and Order.
The
And
original
that's
Law&
another
and
show
Long.
Order.
that. And I always said that Law and Order, the way they had it set up, could have lasted. Well, it has lasted because it went away but came back over 20 years.
Mhm.
Because you can replace
Yeah.
the cast. You can replace the show formula did not require a regular a regular cast.
Yeah, it
It
was
can
like
be
a rotating cast, like, all the time, and I when I was younger, I had the biggest crush on Sam Waterston. I did, and that sounds weird coming from me, but I had the biggest crush on that guy. So
But isn't Law and Order still on today though?
it
yes,
is with a completely different cast.
yes.
Yeah, it's you know from what I remember the original Law and Order. Then you had Law and Order SVU. Then you had Law and Order, I guess, Miami.
Organized crime, and there
Yes.
was
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite ones was Law and Order Criminal Intent
yes.
because it they had that guy from Full Metal Jacket, Gomer Powell, playing the lead character. And please tell me his name, because he's one of my favorite actors. He is by far one of my favorite actors because it seems like he can play so many different roles. He played Kingpin in Daredevil. He played Gomer Powell in the Full Metal
Vincent
Jacket.
D'Onofrio.
Vincent, yes, Vincent D'Onofrio. See, I know Vincent. I just can't say the last name. D'Onofrio. He played a bug in Men in Black.
Black.
Yes,
yeah. See
he's such a talented actor.
for me, my favorite show has to be in. I love comedy. I love comedy shows.
Mhm.
From Saturday Night Live to when Mad TV was on the air, and to anything that has even whose line is it anyway when it comes to improvisation. I love comedy shows because it's funny.
Okay,
I
Mr.
just love them.
Thomas, you said Whose Line Is It Anyway? Which version of Whose Line is your favorite? Is it the British version or the US version? Because there was 2.
I like both of them. The British version
Both
was
of
even
them?
funnier
I did
because
too.
yeah,
Yeah, the British version's funny. Real
the British
funny.
version was funnier because to me the British version like is more was they was more can I use the word edgy or out there than the US version?
Yeah, you can get
Yeah.
more, kind of risque with UK
Yeah,
comedy than I think you can with, comedy here in the States.
So Ryan
right.
Stiles, who was in actually both versions,
Yeah.
uh,
Colin
it,
Mockery, all of the bald jokes about Colin Mockery was so funny.
And
but
and the good thing
but
it's still
Is
on
Ryan
today.
Stiles is Ryan Stiles was he from can Great Britain, or he just, or did they just
No,
find
they
him?
actually they had several, US comics do the British version, like Colin Mockery, Ryan Stiles, Wayne Brady
Oh
did a
yeah,
few
Wayne
Yeah,
Brady. Yeah,
episodes
he
of
was
the
in
Greg,
British
both.
one. Yeah.
Greg Proops. It was a lot of people, that went over to the British
Yep.
version of it. Then when they brought it to the
I
United
think Whose
States,
Line Yeah, I think Whose Line was originally a British show that crossed over into the UK, and I think Ryan Stiles was a big part of that crossover.
Yeah, I
yeah,
think because Drew Carey hosted a United States show, so
Mhm.
you at the time if you were you had the Drew Carey show, so it's not too. And Ryan Stiles was on that show. Yeah, I could see Drew Carey and Ryan just sitting around in the dressing room and just say,
Yeah.
"Hey, I just saw you on Comedy Central doing the Whose Line Is It Anyways. I like that. Let's Why don't we do that? You think we can do that?" And next thing you know, they're doing it. I could see them having that conversation.
yeah. Because every now and then I would go on YouTube and I would look at the old episodes of Who's Line, and I just fall out laughing because it's so funny. It's hilarious. 'Cause,
I'm gonna
make me
tell you. So round two, 2015, 2014, 2014, my son found on YouTube Dave Chappelle, the very first episode.
Dave Chappelle.
And this is the one. This is the one where
I
Dave Chappelle was playing
already know what you.
he was playing the blind white supremacist.
Oh no. You cannot beat Dave Chappelle playing Rick James. You can yeah, I that was his best skit ever. Changed my mind. Him saying, "I'm Rick James," like that word.
I'm sorry, I'm getting fussed at by someone in the private chat, so I'm gonna have to look at the chats.
While you're doing that, Doc, I just wanted to say to everybody on panel and to everybody who is out there, a very, very big thank you on behalf of myself, Mr. Nerd Girl, my brother, Sergeant Geek, for all the love that was shown after Papa Nerd passed. Um, he was a giant of a man in a lot of ways, both figuratively and quite literally. The man was 6'7", a very, very big
Wow,
guy. And
That was talk.
yeah,
wow,
and he actually got bestowed a very, very high honor, the day of his funeral. My brother and I had a 3-hour visitation scheduled for our dad because he was pretty much a local legend, and we were expecting a crowd, and we got one. But come to find out that the local government here in my community, both the mayor and the county commissioners, ordered all flags in the city to half-mast in dad's honor. So that was, a very,
that
very big
is
thing
that
for
is
me.
very big. That is a
Yeah.
very
So
that
Wow.
That's a
Yeah.
very good.
yeah, that is very very big. And yeah, yeah.
but I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who reached out. I truly appreciate it. We've got one more service to go for him. He opted for cremation, and when he comes back to us, we are gonna be, reuniting him with Mama Nerd, and that's where he's been wanting to be. So
Mm. Well, it's tough when you lose a
as I
parent.
bring the show to a screeching halt.
It's okay. It's all right. We do need to take some time to try and remember things like this.
Losing a parent is never easy. It's never
No,
going
it's
to
not.
leave you.
And
Just comfort to know that he is with the person he wants to be with, and
Mhm.
you guys will always have him with you. You
and
will.
I and I'm just going to add in there, even when you know that your loved one was suffering, it's still hard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It
Believe,
is still hard. And yeah, so
believe,
I
believe,
yeah, I just I was, it's reminded me when my father died as well, and it can be, my father died, oh, I don't know, mid 2000s, around 2008, and
believe.
I still have dreams where I'm talking to him.
Mhm.
I lost mine in 2012, and
Mhm.
it.
Believe me, I know how you feel because I lost both my parents before I was 18. So
Yeah,
I know exactly how you feel, you know.
I lost my
But
mom
you
when I
know,
was 20.
Wow, yeah.
Mhm. So I know what
but you,
Stefan is saying there.
Mhm.
It doesn't get, I can't say it gets easier, but it will, you become more
Mhm.
accustomed. That's all I can say. It's just you just
Yeah.
kind of get used to them not being around, but then you'll always remember them. You'll never lose that. So
Yeah, I
Right.
always remembered what I saw on TV from, ironically enough, a wrestler by the name of Eddie Kingston. Um, he said that if you remember what your parents taught you, if you remember what your parents taught you, your parents are never truly gone because their
exactly,
mantra and their
mhm.
lessons and their love still live on through you. And
exactly.
throughout that service, I actually wore my dad's cardigan sweater, one of his cardigan sweaters that he had in the room at the hospice center where he was. So I wore that standing next to him for the entire service. And ironically enough, in that chapel, I knew the owner of that funeral home were family friends, and he normally keeps that chapel cold. I mean, ice cold. That night the AC broke. So it was hotter
Oh
than
wow,
anything in that chapel, and here I am with a very thick, wearing my normal, like, funeral black, with a very heavy cardigan on, my back was soaked, but I'm like my brother was saying, "You gotta be dying in that, Jen, you take that off." And I'm like, "No, this is our dad's sweater. This is him hugging me right now, and I'm not taking it off." And I went through the whole service and with that on me. So
yeah, but that was a nice thing.
Well,
I know.
Stefan just made an interesting comment. What is the difference between the
Mm,
fathers and us? Our parents.
oh,
I
I would agree with that, Stefan. I would definitely
that's
agree with
very
that
true.
very much.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Because if I
right.
Oh,
showed
now
my
we were raised.
behind yeah, if I showed my behind as much as some of frauditors that I see through other channels that I do subscribe to and enjoy very much, um, my both my mom and my dad would put their size 9s and size 11s straight up my backside because they didn't raise me to act like that. I mean, they are a perfect example of something I normally tell the nerdling. Your
Right.
intentions are good, your delivery sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I wouldn't have a
well,
face if I acted like that.
and I'm going to say
Especially,
this. I'm just going to add this is when we you want to turn people away from whatever cause that you're true and dear to, act like some of these fraudsters,
Yep.
and yeah, you can turn people away from it. There's a way to get people on your side without being a jackass.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, we just got to teach Mr. Thomas that, but eventually he'll learn it.
Okay.
What's that book called? How to Win Friends and Influence
Influence
People?
people.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, they should all read that book. It's it's
yeah.
the way they act. I still get just totally flabbergasted. I can't imagine going in public and acting that way. It would just be, I can't even imagine it.
I just wish that instead of police arresting a person that just finally got tired of that person's mouth,
Mm.
just say, you know what? I'm not here right this second. Do what you got to do. I won't see anything. And I mean, seriously, that's one where Anselmo was harassing at the UFC female fighter. I would love to see her knock his butt out. Just my
And the
opinion.
thing, and the thing is, he did. You thought SMO, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. SMO didn't even know who she was until his viewers told her who she was.
right.
And I said I do watch a little UFC, so I'm familiar with Killer Miller, who is the was the UFC fighter that Aselmo went after. And as soon as I saw her, and I'm like, oh, buddy, you picked the wrong one to screw with. Oh no.
Well, let me
I
ask you
think
guys this.
I think any I'm just gonna say like I think any woman could actually take SMO. Any woman could take SMO.
Um,
I would just have to do that fake, like I'm gonna lunge at you type thing, and this guy would probably fall down screaming, crying for his mommy. He's very, very not someone I'd be afraid of. Let's just put it that way. I no,
No, he's not intimidating at all. He is
no,
not intimidating.
yeah, I mean, the
and
way
I'm
he,
not big. I'm not big. I'm five. I found out I'm not even 5'2" anymore, and I think he would be afraid of me even.
well, I would just say this. Yeah, SMO is not a good guy. We know his history, why he was arrested, why he was convicted of, and why he was convicted of that, and not for other crimes. And yeah. So anytime I see him wanting to record kids, so it's not often. He's not one of the bad ones about that. But when he's harassing women, I do wonder what his goals are.
Well, right now he's in California. He's in California with all the protests going
Yeah,
on in
with everything that's
California.
going on.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, they basically showed him actually on the news.
Oh gosh, I wish they did not do that because all that does is just add fuel to his fire.
He's
well,
already been on
you know,
CNN twice.
the squeaky wheel
Yeah.
gets the grease. All he did was
Mhm.
scream louder than everyone else. That's all.
Yeah, but that's I can see him saying, "I was in on CNN twice. I did it." I could see him telling a cop that. Of course, I would love to see these police officers.
I I don't see that as the big flex that some would think it is.
Well, yeah, I got hundreds of thousands of views, dude.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
allegedly. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. If we started breaking that shit down, no, you don't have it.
Well,
Uh,
let me ask you. Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all really think that Chili was actually hit with a plastic bullet, or was it something that you think he probably faked? Because you never.
He probably
Oh,
could have. He probably could have, but he said, "Oh, I'll show you the stuff. I'll show you the stuff." Dude, when I played golf in high school, I stood the wrong way of a golf ball, and I had a bruise on the side of my leg from my hip to my kneecap that lasted for months. Something that fast coming out of a gun that is trained to do, rubber bullets, coming
Yeah.
out that speed would have landed a pretty good sized bruise on that man's chest. And he said, "Oh, I'll show you
Yeah.
the bruise. I'm show you the bruise." Like I
Then
tell my
show it.
students, I'll believe it when I see it, and he hasn't shown it yet.
Yeah, he never
Didn't
showed it.
happen because it didn't happen.
Right. Yeah.
Like I said,
Show
mommy
the
issues.
receipts. Yeah. Show the receipts. Now, Ray, I saw that you answered that question, Stefan's question.
Mommy
In
issues. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
mommy issues. Uh, I do. Are there any fraudsters that hadn't spent any time in prison or jail?
Not that I can think of.
Not that I could know of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it's one thing wanting to film police in their course of duties in such a way, fashion where the police officer and Miss Ray had dropped, so hopefully she can join us back. Uh, but it's one thing. It's one thing to do that, but what these guys doing
Yeah.
is not that. What they're doing is uh, uh, what they're doing is they're harassing people. They're bullying people, and it's not just government employees. It's not just police officers. If you're just happen to be a lady that walked by and say, "Hey, please don't record me," that's almost
You
like
know,
there they
I'm
go.
glad
That's
you
what.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that because in DMA's lawsuit against Fraud of the Trolls, he
Uh-huh.
says in his main line, in one of his lines, he say, First Amendment auditors, we keep government transparency, and they say they're the watch, constitutional watchdogs or something. And
Mhm.
then Lucid Lair made a really good point. Okay, if that's what you say that you are, please show the court these bank audits. Show them that you record in people's houses. Show them you record in daycares. What does that is not the government.
Also,
So
she
why
did
are
delivered
you?
a chef's kiss. Yeah, she delivered also a chef's kiss line when she was talking about that paragraph. She's saying this had to be written by ChatGPT because it makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yes,
Didn't
yes.
make any sense.
Okay.
Exactly.
So Ray is having some technical issues right this second here, at her front. So hopefully she'll be able to jump back in. Uh, but yeah, that was a chef's kiss. That this was written by ChatGPT. I am curious. How much did Cordova pay that attorney to file it to get that paperwork started for the lawsuit? He had to pay him something.
Because apparently, again, this is per Lucid's Lair, that attorney apparently had something to do with the happy birthday copyright.
Yeah, that's what she said. I don't know what that was because I always thought the Happy Birthday was not copyrighted.
Oh, Stefan, I remember that. Oh, that made me so mad. DMA actually went to I think a police chief's house
I
and
don't even
Yes.
think it.
confronted him about some alleged um marital shenanigans going on. And
Yes.
it's like, that's a line you don't cross, dude. I mean, it's DMA. I
Yes.
mean, but that's to me, that's just a line you don't cross.
Well,
He
I
Yeah.
mean,
literally he
Reyes did
literally
the
went
same thing. Reyes did the same thing
yes,
too.
he literally went on somebody's private property and knocked on the door with a cameras. I think it wasn't and the police chief didn't even answer the door. I think it was his wife.
But
No,
that's the one.
that was Long Island Audits.
Yeah.
Yeah, Long Island Audits
Oh,
did that one.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
DMA,
Okay,
it
I got
wasn't
it
the
from
police chief himself, but Long Island Audits did the thing to the police commissioner's wife.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know, you're right. I got him confused. You're right. You're right. You're right.
but basically the same thing, Dave.
Mhm.
You showing up at a police officer's house for the sole purpose of harassing the officer. Uh, yeah, you're crossing some
Well,
lines.
Fapper did the same thing. Remember, he went. Well, he at this time he was the former chief of police. Chief of police. He went to the former chief of police house to file the I guess to serve him some papers, some law,
Hmm.
intent to sue.
Mhm.
I'm like,
Yep.
why are you going on somebody's private property? That's if you're gonna serve him some papers, that's what you have your attorney to do, or you pay, or you get a sheriff of somebody to serve the papers. You don't go there.
Right. Oh yeah, agreed. Definitely. You don't go there. You don't need to be going to one of these people's houses. Uh,
Yeah. And then he continued to sit outside the former chief of police house. And I think
hmm.
that's also got him in some trouble.
Yeah, that I think the, commissioner's wife hit some sort of panic button, and she had about 10 cops at her front door, like, within minutes.
Of course, he was
Yeah.
trying to make it. He was trying to make it. Oh, well, why would they respond so quickly for her? Well, I got news for you. If there's probably people out there that did not like that particular commissioner.
No,
Uh,
is that the same when when LIA hired the billboard on wheels to sit in front of he brought into the neighborhood to sit in front of the police commissioner's house? Is that the same one?
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I didn't know about that one either.
But let's
Yeah, he,
I'm going to play little devil's advocate on that. I mean, I don't agree with that action, but is it really truly? It's harassment. I will say that, but is it really truly? Can it be argued as freedom of speech the the mobile billboard was on a public road and it was
well,
legally parked where it could? I mean, is it
well, I don't.
harassment? Is it too much? Yes, but is it really against the law?
Well, the thing was what they were saying. I forgot who covered it. I think it was either Fraud the Troll or Lucid Lair. One of them covered that particular video, and I think because since it was in a residential area, I think that billboard on wheels couldn't be there
And that might
because
be, yeah, there might be an ordinance that would prevent that. Yes.
it lit up and it I guess I don't know. They're looking at it made the neighborhood or the neighbors or something was complaining about the lights or something.
Right.
Not sure, but he went back to them to try to get another billboard, a mobile billboard, and they told him no, they wasn't gonna work with him anymore.
I can't blame them.
And he took it as that the police threatening him. I said after all that, I wouldn't want to work with you either. They wasn't expecting all that.
No, they probably got in some trouble because they weren't supposed to be there. By the sounds of it, period. They should have known that the billboard company that is, and they should have told them hit rocks uh, and tell them that
You
they
mean
can't do that. Now, could they drive for downtown with that sign in front of the police station all day long?
well,
Yes,
yeah, all along. If there was move around, yes.
but yeah, yeah, depending on the ordinances. I mean, because you can have ordinances that would prevent such things to happen. Uh, yeah.
And,
First
and,
Amendment.
and can I ask you all something else? I mean,
Of course.
okay, I just seen a couple of people already covered J Town Press current video that she put out. She put out a
Uh,
video when she was reporting at a military base. So the MPs came out and told her she had to get off the property. She moved
right.
back and the MP told her no, you need to get off the property. You can't record here. Because I guess she was past what's the line? She was past the
Basically,
Guard line.
she was on the property. Period. And
yeah.
the way that MP was describing it, the curb was the line. You cannot record on property. Period. She tried to argue
And
that she was not at she didn't go beyond the sign, but they're like, nope. The line is at the curb.
but
You
no,
have to
but
be
here's the thing though. She goes across the street and she was saying she was standing on the easement. I'm like, well, or basically, or she was standing on the sidewalk. I said, well, look at what you was standing on the sidewalk. I'm like, I thought the sidewalk was for people to, to move around. Can you literally stand on the, the easement though?
Well, okay, her whole argument was kind of off from get
No.
go. Uh, that sidewalk was not provided by the city or the state or the county. It was provided by the federal government. It was probably meant for those that were coming on base that was walking in to walk to the guard shack. Uh, and and yes, on military installation, you don't f around and find out there.
See, but she,
They- they-
and then
they-
she,
those those MPs were actually very very patient with her.
and then she got upset because when they, I guess they called the police to do a wellness check on her. So they called. So when she was getting ready to leave, I guess it bothered her because they got her tag number. I said, but I thought there was no expectation of privacy in public. So
Exactly.
your
Yes.
tag was good. They could record your tag. They could get your tag. So what you all in the bind for? All uptight for? Now they know who you are.
But it's not just that. They're going to also see that she's probably she was arrested and charged and convicted of trespassing in a courthouse. They'll see her history. It's not the first time she has been arrested in that way, and it's just the way she talks. Uh,
Very condescending.
yes,
Very
Very
condescending.
condescending. Very condescending. Because I actually, I'm in the same area as she is J Town Press. Because when I was at the courthouse downtown, I actually seen J Town Press, and she was getting kicked out the courthouse by the Duval County Sheriff Department. She was not to record there. They said if you want to record in the courthouse, go to the old courthouse, which is they use for tours because that courthouse been there for decades. So they said you can record there all you want to, but this courthouse you can't record. She went all the way to the prosecutor's office in the courthouse. Although I'm surprised she made it that far because you know how many floors the prosecutor office is in the courthouse. I'm surprised she made it.
yeah, I'm not familiar with Duval County,
No, that's what
so
I'm saying. She made it really far without them knowing. I'm like, how did they not
Yeah.
notice that she wasn't recording? How she got past security without them knowing that she was recording? That's what I want to know.
my guess is she probably wasn't recording until unless there was specific areas that she was trying to record to make it look like she was recording the whole time.
Because I
Yeah,
had to
or
do a double. I had to do a double take. Like don't tell me who I think that is. Because I didn't think nothing of it at first, but when heard the commotion and I heard her talking, like that voice sounds familiar. I'm like, no, really? I'm like, and I didn't, you can't have your phones if you're in the court, and then you can't bring literally you can't bring your phones in there. I left my phone in the car.
right. Yes, and what they're not realizing is that the reason why there's no recording in the courthouse is that you got witnesses in there, you got children
The jury.
that's a jury. Yes, it's just all
Hmm.
there's the best way to secure things to keep the people keeping from information getting out is to basically say no, not here. You cannot record here. Hence why a state medical office would say no recording here. Uh, yes, HIPAA violations would go against the facility, not the individual that might be recording. But
Mhm.
that facility is going to protect themselves, and the best way for them to protect themselves is by saying, "Nope, you can't record in here. You cannot
That's
record
right.
in
Exactly.
here."
They doing their job. I'm like, when they say they love to say, well, the onus on you is protect, HIPAA. I'm like, okay, that's what they're doing. They get, they getting rid of you with the
Yeah.
Yeah.
camera. Their job. They getting rid of you.
Mm-hmm. They're
I
getting
mean,
rid of
I know I
you.
s I mean, I know I've said this before when I hear that line, it just like nails on a chalkboard to me, and it's like, if the illness is on them to protect the privacy, don't you think that's what they're doing by telling you to kick rocks?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That,
And
yes,
then
that's what.
they'll say, well, I can't be trespassed. I can be trespassed from a public place. I'm like, show me in the law where that can't happen. Show
Quote
me in
the
the law
page
where you
it's
can't
on.
be. Yes,
Well,
can you show me? I
well,
wish I
my
was a
favorite.
judge. I would have asked him, can you show me where that is in the law?
Well, my favorite is when they say it's your policy for you to identify yourself if you asked. And I was sitting there going, "It really is? Is it really their policy? I bet you it's really not their policy. The policy might be they have to wear uh, clothing that can identify themselves, like that is the law, but they do not like the uniforms, you know. But they do not have, but they don't have to identify themselves, especially if they're not engaging with the individual that they are that approaches them.
I just want to, again, because, like they say in J Town Press video, the police officer told her, I don't answer questions. I said, I would love to see some of these officers actually say that to these people. I don't, I'm like, okay, well, I don't answer questions.
Yeah. Oh, that particular sergeant, he kind of knew who she was, or at least what she was doing, and knew how to do things to frustrate her. Because she was frustrated with him.
Which one, though? The military police sergeant?
No, no, the city police officer that was the sergeant,
Oh,
not the first one that showed up, not the girl, but the guy that kind of popped up out of nowhere.
yeah. She was
Uh,
frustrated with him.
yeah, oh yeah, because he was the one
And then
that.
you, and then you have Georgia Transparency saying, you mean tell us all I was doing existing with a camera? I'm like, man, get off of it, please. I'm like,
It's not that
really?
you're existing, Georgia transparency. It's because
That's what you're
there's
doing
too
now?
much of you existing.
I'm like, there's so much I can say about Georgia Transparency. I don't think like this transparency. How you call you have transparency in your name, Georgia Transparency. Okay. You recording people and then okay, well, where are you gonna put this? Well, I can't release that information. Okay, but you're a journalist.
Mhm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what journalist would not tell you where you find these so-called news stories? And
What
also
is it
I
that?
asked, what journalists ask for donations?
Yeah, what is that? Don't want to get privacy strike. And James Baker is in the house. Hey, James, how's it going,
Hi,
buddy?
James.
What's going on, James?
So,
But yeah, that's one question I asked a while ago. Like, if there's supposed to be I said I never seen any journalists ask for donations.
mhm.
Never.
No, no, but we do have legit people that do not work for a news organization. That yes, you can call them journalists because they actually do try to behave. They try to report the story, not make the story about themselves.
And report
Where
the story accurate. They do not report the story accurately.
so there is truth about there being independent journalists. It's just that the fraudsters themselves are not them.
Anything okay, they like to say if you they argument is okay, if you have a camera phone, take out your camera, you could be you two are independent, journalists. But as soon as somebody in the government take out their phone and record them, oh, you can't
Oh, that's
record me. You can record us. I'm gonna for you that. I'm like, did you just say that anybody would, they take their phone, they can, record. They, it's okay to record. I'm like, for what I remember, if you work for the government or not, their First Amendment doesn't end at the door either. They also have a First
yeah.
Amendment right.
And that's what they tend to forget. It's not they forget about not just the government employees' rights, but everyone else's rights that's around them.
I'm like, even as a private citizen, I can't infringe on your right. I don't work for the government. I'm like, the First Amendment was made for the for the government to infringe on your rights, not private citizens.
But that's kind of what I like about DMV in Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
Someone's going to come in there and record. That's fine. You can record. We're not going to stop you, but we're going to protect these people's rights to be secure with their papers. So we're going to stop everything we're doing,
Yep.
and uh,
Exactly.
and we're not going to stop them if they get ready to hurt you, because they're not going to stop.
Nope.
They'll get out of the way. So, and I agree with that mentality. I want to be in DMV when they shut down because someone wants to.
No.
No, I don't. But at the same time, I would be that guy that would stand at the counter with my turn and see the person recording, saying, "I'm sorry, I'm not going to conduct business," and I'm going to stay right here until he leaves with that camera.
Fraud the Shenanigans just covered a video of a frauder that just shut down the DMV. I think just yesterday he shut down. The guy shut down the DMV, and the people ran him. Some of the customers, you know, basically almost ran him out of him. One of the customers spit at him.
Oh.
You know, I'm
Like I
like,
said,
then they say, well, okay, well, they say, well, they shut down because I mean, this one lady in the DMV was literally going there. She said, well, why are you doing this? She said, they just shut down because of you, and you knew that. That's why you came in here. And this whole
yeah,
argument, well, I didn't know they was gonna shut down. I'm like, yes, you did. You knew that something like this was gonna happen.
yeah, yeah. If you didn't know, no, yeah, you knew that that was a realm of possibilities. Yeah. And I think they had to really seriously because how many times uh, they might pick up something that might be really private in the course of conversation that these folks have to have with the DMV employees.
And my
And
thing is, they say, well, we want to keep the government transparent. I'm like, okay, I'm all for that. You want to keep the government, doing the right thing. So why you go to a DMV? What you gonna do? Record them? Have people waiting a long time? Because when you go, if you don't do your work on get what you need online, which I do that instead of going there, I order my
Mhm.
registration online.
Right, yeah,
Why? I'm not gonna sit there for almost an hour or two, for that. I'm like, why would you? That's what you're going to record. People waiting a long time. That's what you're recording.
yeah. And I'm going to just add this to the fray. Uh, people have to take time off from work to get to DMV to take care of these matters. Imagine you're taking time off from work. You're sitting in DMV. You've been there for an hour or two, and this bozo who barely can breathe after walking 25 feet comes in to record, and they shut down. Now you can't now you can sit there and wait. Maybe they might reopen if they get this guy out, and maybe you can get your paperwork done, get what you got to get done, or maybe you have to take another day off from work and miss out more pay. Some people don't
Yeah.
have, yeah. And this is number two. You know how many times we hear these guys saying, "Yeah, I got reports about this place doing this, being this, or doing that, whatever." Okay, all right. If that's true, if you did legitimately get someone call you or email you and say, "Hey, yeah, this DMV office did this, this, and this," or this tax collector's office did this, this, and this while I was there. I was there on this day at this time, and all that kind of stuff. You know what I would do if I was trying to expose that?
What's
I would
that?
go. I would go FOIA their cameras for that day, and then maybe 2 or 3 other dates and times, just to make it look like I'm trying to get a random selection of video to show what the DMV does or whatever that office does. And if there was some legitimate truth to that, I would edit the video. I would show it to set up an appointment with their director, show it to their director, and actually interview the director.
Right.
Do it
Well,
properly.
well, if you sit
Now,
and think about it, that's probably a little bit too much work for them to do.
a little bit too much work. It probably costs a little bit of money to get those videos, and probably a lot of logical sense. Because like I said, if they're up to no good, and they're not going to misbehave in front of your camera.
Right.
But if they're misbehaving in front, they would probably be more bound to misbehave in front of their cameras because they forget that those cameras are there. If they were legitimately doing up to no good. So, just kind of my mindset. No, you're showing up just to show up. Majority of times when Reyes or whoever says something like that, it's usually because it's not true. They're just trying to use it as an intimidation tactic against these government employees.
Right.
I mean, Jim Girl.
Is,
Jim,
is, any-
It's
is anybody
okay.
listen, is anybody listening to the Christmas music?
Yeah, is there Christmas music playing?
I thought I
I hear
heard.
Christmas.
Or is there something in my soda that I need to know?
I
I'm
think
like,
my wife is watching something on TV that had Christmas music, and damn, if my microphone is picking that up, that's pretty darn
I'm
good.
like, I'm like, I'm like, Doc, you in the Christmas spirit again? You drinking that? You drinking that
I
spiked
know I'm not
eggnog?
drinking. No, I'm not drinking eggnog yet, but I love me some eggnog.
I don't know now. You like, see, Jen girl, you don't know. Apparently, Doc likes to drink his water glass full of alcohol.
Oh,
No. Jug of moonshine. Let's get that shit right now.
Okay, moonshine, you
And
know.
here's the thing: I drink a jug because sometimes I have to put some of it in my vehicle to get it cranked.
I don't,
Let's talk about some old shows. Dukes of
I already.
Hazzard. Dukes of Hazzard. There was this one particular episode where Uncle Jesse made up some moonshine for alternative fuel. They literally was
Turn,
using. Yes, they were using moonshine as alternative fuel. Which
gotcha.
and moonshine is made out of what? Corn.
Corn. Yeah, you have to smash the corn.
Yeah,
hmm
smashed corn. What is ethanol made of?
Wait a minute. Say that again.
Okay, what was that? What is
Yeah.
ethanol? Yeah, what
Oh, that
what is ethanol made of?
ethanol is made of. Is it made of corn?
Yes, it is.
I thought so.
Ethanol was not around back then. But doggone if the Duke boys didn't have it right back then with the alternative fuel source. I just something that kind of popped in my head. Talk about moonshine and everything. And back in the day when the first season of Dukes of Hazzard, I think they actually filmed that in Georgia, and it is a very, very, very different feel than what the everything else afterwards had. They actually played Roscoe as more of a serious law enforcement officer, and then season 2 comes around and they made him a bumbling idiot. Just some things I noticed about.
Well,
You.
I haven't seen the Dukes of Hazzard in a while. It's been a minute since I watched the Dukes of Hazzard, but it's
Yeah.
I used to just really watch it when I was a kid for the General League. That's about it.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Oh yeah, you just love to see the car jumping over the creeks and everything else, and then the police cars crashing.
My my question always been who would win in a race, Kit or General Lee? Because Kit was nothing
Oh
but a
oh
computer.
oh! It was General Lee. General Lee had a bigger engine.
See, but the thing is though, Kit was a computer on wheels because all Michael Knight had to do was just hit a couple of buttons and turbo boost and Kit would take off. He was like an early version of Tesla.
Oh,
The early
boy.
version of Tesla.
When you think about it, Kit was the early. And then when because for me, the General Lee car was all I was all for. But when I was little and I finally seen Knight Rider, seen Kit, that was shoot, everybody wanted that car. That's the car I want. Everybody wanted,
I did not want a
the
car that would. I did not want a car that would talk back to me.
I did because I could have a conversation. You actually can have cars talk back to you now. What you think? What you what you think some of the cars have now?
My vehicles don't talk back to me. I
Well,
make
do you
sure of
have a
that.
program to talk to you? Well, my car don't talk. My cousin, her car actually talked back. I don't know how she got it programmed because she drive a Nissan. I'm trying to figure out how she got that program. Just because your door is ajar. Your door is ajar. They even said for the fourth time the car would literally say close the damn door. I'm,
Oh, that
how
was
did
from. Oh, that was from. I'm gonna get you, sucker.
you? But no, really, that's where she got it from. Like, how did you get your car to program to do that? I don't know what she did, but she got it to do that. You know, I don't know what
So
she
the
did. She got it to do that.
that was yeah. Oh, oh man, goodness. That was
She always been computer savvy, but I don't know how she did it.
well. Yeah, I tell you, we're talking about cars talking back. My cats talk back to me. One in particular has an attitude like I don't know what. One
Mhm.
day, I was in the porch. The cat was out with me, out in the porch with me. I'm like, why don't you get? You want to come back in, Kitty? You want to come back inside? Come on back in. She wouldn't do it. She wouldn't come back inside. So I went inside and closed the door. 30 minutes later, I open the door. She comes in. She starts meowing. Meow, 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 meow. I'm like, well, you did. I told you to come back inside when I went back inside. Now, this little girl, just imagine this. The cat was about, all right, 6 feet, 6 feet away from me, heading to her food bowl. When I said that, she stopped. She in, stopped what she was doing. She turned her head, looked at me, and went, meow, and continued
Oh,
back
no.
to the. I'm like,
No,
what did she do?
no, no, girl, I can tell you exactly what happened. He fell asleep watching the Sylvester and Tweety cartoon. He literally the cat talking to him. He fell asleep watching the Sylvester and Tweety cartoon because Sylvester stand on his hind legs and talk. Or better yet, he either fell asleep watching the Tom and Jerry cartoon. I don't know, but I guarantee you, that's probably what happened.
I probably did doze off, but probably not watching those cartoons. But truth, like I said, I came back 30 minutes later to let her in, and oh boy, she had an attitude with me at that moment. Oh, she did not like it. She did not like that she was outside a minute longer than she wanted to be.
And that's another thing that there was like another big issue back in the day. You had the parents saying there's too much violence on TV, and some of these cartoons. I'm like, have you not grown up on Tom and Jerry?
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah, yeah,
have you not seen the old Bugs Bunny? There was nothing but violence, but you but you have a problem with
Exactly.
violence in cartoon today. I'm like,
well,
y'all
it was
need to have
violence, but it was cartoon. It was comical violence, physical comedy.
yes, yes. I'm like the things that Tom and Jerry had on the air back then. You can't even put on TV right now.
Oh,
Nope.
there would be some things that would have, yeah, it
But to
probably would
me,
start some riots with.
and I'm just gonna say this to me as a black guy, I found that hilarious. I found it hilarious. I'm like, what is the problem? I'm like, this was funny. I'm like, but when you go to watch it now, you see exactly it about to happen. Then they'll go to another scene. I'm like, come on, you go, you mess up the whole. You took out the funniest part of the cartoon.
Well, the biggest thing with humor is you got to learn to laugh at yourself as well as
Right.
at others. Uh, when I'm watching, yes, something that's making fun of people that's like me, I laugh at it because yeah, we are some crazy redneck Floridian people over here. That stuff is funny.
Well, that's in your area though, but
Yeah. I mean, there's this show that me and my wife absolutely enjoy called Poker Face.
Mhm.
It's on Peacock. Nergal, are you familiar with it?
A little bit.
Well, this season had they did an episode uh, with about a police officer in a fictional town, but this fictional town was in the panhandle of Florida, and she was attending the FLOPA COPA, the Florida Panhandle Police Officers Association, something like that.
The flip the
Uh,
what now?
the FLOPA COPA award ceremony. She didn't win. Who won was a police officer who adopted a baby alligator, and he had won for 6 years in a row. And on the sixth year, of course his alligator is very big, but he became more like the Tiger King, but still a police officer, but had the mullet, had the you know had the endorsements. He was YouTube famous,
Mhm.
and he's still
yeah.
winning the police officer association that association's police officer of the year. But he was really not a good police officer at that point. He was more of entertainment than anything else. And well, like I said, he became a typical Florida man, and it was funny because yeah, I see that. I know people just that they are like that in this area, and the only thing you can do is roll your eyes at them and laugh at them. Uh, so, and now earlier we were talking about Dave Chappelle and how my son and his friend. I didn't tell you the funnier part of that story because we got sidetracked. So I have to tell you the story.
Okay. Well, this
Okay.
is called drinks with Doc, but go ahead though.
Yeah.
Well, I'm streaking.
You
So
streaking?
I'm drinking.
Uh-oh.
So
Don't
wait a
go
minute. It sound
careful.
okay. I thought it sounded like you streaking.
Yeah. Okay. My son, and his friend KJ, uh, they were, I don't know, they were about what 14, 15 years old. They found Dave Chappelle on YouTube. They watched it, and they watched Clayton, that episode with Clayton and all kinds of
Clayton,
stuff.
Clayton
Now,
Bigsby.
Bigsby, yes. Now, think about KJ. Well, he was African American.
Uh huh.
The next day on the bus, he started yelling white power.
Oh,
Oh boy.
KJ,
Not
KJ.
good.
No,
not good.
I think he confused the school. They didn't know what to do. He,
You know what?
this was before, before people could not take a joke. Shortly before, but I really seriously think the school did not know what to do with him. They're like, oh, you watch Dave Chappelle? Okay, no worries.
You know how many times I got kicked out of class for doing a DX crock shot in class? I mean, that was something back in the in the mid in the mid to late '90s doing the DX crotch shot. But now, but you on the bus, yelling white power. I'm like, really?
Yeah, well, this was, like I said, about 2014, 2015 when this happened. Yeah, you do that now. Oh
No,
boy.
you can't do
Oh
that
boy,
now.
that you can't do that now. Well, I mean, back then, he, a white kid yelling white power would definitely be in some trouble back then.
Yes.
I just think back then it confused them, confused the school
You know,
officials.
you know what? That's something to think about because there's another show that came on back in the day when I was a kid. I'm not sure if y'all remember the TV show Power Rangers.
Yeah, yeah, the one that Chili was on allegedly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but it was more. But the earlier episodes before Chili even trying out for, they used to have the parts when they call out their colors like Green Ranger power, Black Ranger power, Yellow Ranger power.
Mhm.
But whenever we always got to the White Ranger, it just said Tiger Ranger power because it never said White
Yeah,
Ranger.
exactly.
It,
Oh,
it just got like, wait a minute, because we were all sitting, we were
you
all
know,
sitting there
you know,
We were
you
all
know
sitting
when.
there waiting to see if they gonna have that Ranger to say white Power Ranger. Just wait for them to say that. We would just sit there wait for them like, oh no, they'll never say it.
You know that there was someone illegal that said, guys, you
Can't
We got
do
can't
to
do it
that.
switch
now.
it.
You cannot do that. You gotta change it.
And then, even the creator of Power Ranger say if he would have thought about it, he would have switched it up because he thought it was wrong to have the Asian girl be the Yellow Ranger and the black guy be the Black Ranger. I'm like, that
Uh,
is something he thought about long time ago before while the show was still, on. I'm like, don't y'all think this is kind of odd that you got the black guy playing the Black Ranger, but you got the Asian girl playing the Yellow Ranger? And then the next
oh,
season, the next season they left. They left. So they brought in the black girl. She was the Yellow Ranger. They brought in another Asian guy. Then he became the Black Ranger. I'm like, okay, I see where y'all mixing it up now.
well, I do remember Amy Jo Johnson being Pink Ranger.
Mhm.
I had a crush on her when I was little.
I did.
I can
I
honestly
had
say.
a crush on her too. I mean, yeah.
Well, wait a minute though. At that time, you was old enough to be, grandpa, because
No, well, I know. Well,
Oh, I've got a story to share on that. If you really
uh,
wanna go old school with Power Rangers stuff. When I was, in around, like, my 3rd year of college, I mean, that's where, Mr. Nerd Girl and I met. I worked for a Fox affiliate in about 20 miles away from where I am now. And
hmm
that time we had, the Fox Kids Club, and that
mm-hmm.
was the same time the first Power Rangers movie came out. So we
Oh,
did a big, like, media blitz for, promoting the Power Rangers movie because Fox Network, sent us a lot of, promotional stuff, and they offered to have one of the stunt Power Rangers come out for a meet and greet. And we actually had somebody, I don't know who the guy was, but somebody come out, a someone schooled in martial arts
uh,
as the Blue Ranger, and the kids were going nuts. And the lady who was working in marketing, who was like the head of the kids club, said, "Hey Jenny, want to get a picture with him?" And I'm like, "Okay, sure." I mean, so I stand next to this Blue Ranger, and he was trying to tell me something under his helmet, And
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of glad this is like 10:16 Eastern time for this next few lines I'm gonna say. But I leaned down towards his helmet. I got my ear right on his helmet, and he was telling me, "Bend over," and I'm
Uh-huh.
like, "Excuse me?" He said, "Bend over. It good." And because like heavy Asian accent, and I'm like, Okay."
Oh,
So he had me, I literally bent over, like my hands on my knees, and he was acting like he was doing a karate chop on the back of my head.
wow.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was
that's why it says
thinking.
I'm glad it's late at night. And
Well,
Oh, I was in here. I was thinking that it was going to be a story how you met Chili the Castro before you got fired from there.
oh no, ew, 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 bad Doc Laneau, bad, bad Doc Laneau.
oh, you know what, Doc? Just for that, you know, she should have said some disparaging words to towards you. Just
Oh my
Well, I got a question for you guys.
god. Okay, sure.
Okay, so I wanted to make this more of the regular thing. Do it on a Saturday night instead of uh, Sunday
Sunday
afternoon.
and afternoon.
Yeah, I've been finding it. Okay, Sunday afternoon. Tomorrow's Father's Day.
Mhm.
Uh, and people, there's not going to be many people that's going to be available on Sunday afternoons, and it seems like more and more people are available Saturday evenings. I'll be playing with times a little bit, but I thought, okay, the idea of drinks with Doc was a good idea, where we just talk about whatever suits our fancy, and this is kind of what I wanted. When football season rolls around, we're probably going to be talking about sports, football. Uh,
Then returning to sports with Doc.
it might become sports with Docs or football with Doc or whatever. But I thought, okay, the concept is, okay, we're having a drink and we're just sitting around, we're socializing. This is a virtual bar, if you will.
Oh,
So I thought, okay, I have to have a theme song if this is going to be the new format for the show. So I got two different versions. Lyrics are the same. The music is a little different. So I'm
you-
gonna play the first one.
wait a minute, hold up before you play the song. Since it's
Uh huh.
called Drink with Docs, we should be
Sure.
sitting around the bar. We should be sitting like in the bar like they do on Family Guy.
Sitting around the bar. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. You ever seen Family Guy when Peter Griffin and his friends sitting in the booth at the bar
Uh
and they
huh.
got a big glass of beer in front of them with you two big
Yeah.
glasses of beer. Something like that.
If we could actually get physically together, we could do something like that.
Yeah, that would
Like,
be good.
yeah, but that's going to be kind of hard to do because we're all part of different parts of the country, and in some cases, different parts
Well,
of the
yeah.
world.
Well, well, yeah. Look at the background now. We actually sit. You got a virtual bar up there, but
Yeah.
you only
Yes.
one. You got one glass of beer pulled up for yourself. But I'm just saying.
No, actually, that was for another girl. She had not taken it yet. I can't believe she hadn't drank her beer yet.
And then it's warm. Who
I
gonna drink
can't
warm beer?
drink though. Medically, I can't.
See, she can't drink. Dog. Why you gonna pour somebody up some a drink knowing that they can't drink? That's rude.
Okay, then I have to take care of it. But here, let me play this song. Let me play version one.
Okay.
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 Well, the day's been long and the world's gone wild, so pull up a stool and stay a while. Doc's got a drink and a story to share, with headlines, hot takes, and zero cares. It's Drinks with Doc, where the beer flows free, talking about the world and what it maybe some brews. So raise your glass and kick off your shoes. It's Drinks with Doc, and we've got nothing to lose. From movie stars to football plays to did that really happen kind of days. You'll laugh, you'll groan, you might even cheer, 'cause Doc tells it straight with a pint of cheer. It's Drinks with Doc, come and sit on back. He's got a punchline and maybe a snack. No judgment here, just stories and chat, and maybe a rant or two, imagine that. So if you're tired of the noise and the spin, tune in to Doc, let the chill begin. One sip, one laugh, one topic at a time. Drinks with Doc, where the stories unwind. It's Drinks with Doc, where the beer flows free, talking about the world and what it means to be. Pop culture, sports, and a bit of the news. Just Doc and his thoughts, maybe some brews. So raise your glass and kick off your shoes. It's Drinks with Doc, we got nothing to lose. It's Drinks with Doc, where the stories unwind.
I like that. I do.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like it too. It's kind of relaxing. It's kind of what I want it to be. A fun little song where it kind of sums up what I wanted the show to be. So, but now, like I said, that was version 1. Version 2, same lyrics, just a little bit different in music. So let me put that up.
Well, the day's been long and the world's got up a stool and stay a while. Doc's got a drink and a story to share, with headlines, hot takes, and zero cares. It's Drinks with Doc, where the beer flows free, talking about the world and what it means to be. Pop culture, sports, and a bit of the news. Just Doc and his thoughts and maybe some brew. So raise your glass and kick off your shoes. It's Drinks with Doc, and we've got nothing to lose. From movie stars to football plays to did that really happen kind of days. You'll laugh, you'll groan, you might even cheer, 'cause Doc tells it straight with a pint of cheer. It's Drinks with Doc, come and sit on back. He's got a punchline and maybe a snack. No judgment here, just stories and chat, and maybe a rant or two, imagine that's Drinks with Doc, come and sit on back. He's got a punchline and maybe a snack. No judgment here, just stories and chat, and maybe a rant or two, imagine that. It's Drinks with Doc, love the stories in that. It's Drinks with Doc, and we've got nothing to lose. So if you're tired of the noise and the spin, tune in to Doc, let the chill begin. One sip, one laugh, one topic at a time. Drinks with Doc, where the stories unwind. It's Drinks with Doc, come and sit on back. He's got a punchline and maybe a snack. No judgment here, just stories and chat, and maybe a rant or two, imagine that's it. Drinks with Doc, come and sit on back. He's got a punchline and maybe a snack. No judgment here, just stories and chat, and maybe a rant or two, imagine that. It's Drinks with Doc, where the stories unwind. It's Drinks with Doc, and we've got nothing to lose. We've got nothing to lose.
Okay.
First one.
Yeah, first one. Okay.
First one.
Rob, I got you back on. Which one you like? Mr. Thomas? Okay, he's not answering. Uh, yeah, I think number one was my favorite too. Uh, I thought that the other one was a little bit too sluggish. I think,
Yeah.
and yeah, but number one was fast. It's kind of fun. It's kind of yeah type of music. Uh, kind of think yeah, you kind of told, hey, this is what we are. We're here to have a good time. We're here to talk about whatever that suits our fancy. I kind of like the idea of coming into the show without any prep work as far as topic area. Other than I might have one or two ideas that I might want to talk about, and then just kind of
Okay,
leave
I'm
it.
sorry.
What happened,
Yeah,
Mr. Thomas? You okay?
yep.
Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I had to no, I had got a phone call. I had to answer my phone real quick.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about it. No, no.
But
If you were saying about the song, I did listen to both of them. I like the first one better.
yeah, listening to the two side by side, I felt like yeah, number two was kind of a little sluggish, whereas number one I think was the right tempo with what I wanted it to be. And I think that what I do look like this type of format of a show. Just kind of maybe we'll come in. I might come in on Saturday. Might be like, okay, yeah, I want to talk about this, and then we
The,
just go. I'll start the
the first
conversation in that direction, and then just go see where it takes us.
the first one make you want to ride your horse thing flash down to the saloon.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You're here to have drinks with
I
me.
dig that.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Yeah, put on your what is it? Put on your spurs, your cowboy hat. Make sure you have your six shooter in your gun pouch and everything. Then get on your horse and ride to Doc Saloon,
yeah, exactly. Or Doc's Pub. I'm more of a pub type of guy.
where he serves you watered down whiskey.
Well, I gotta make a profit somehow.
Doc, don't you know if you was in the old west and you served them watered down whiskey, what do people do to you?
That's why you don't let them know that you're serving watered down whiskey.
You get your butt
Oh,
handed to you. That's what happened.
they could, they could
That's
tell
where
you
you.
serving whiskey, especially if they know they whiskeys, they could tell you serving watered down whiskey.
Oh well, it's all good. It's
I'm
all
just
good.
saying.
Hmm.
Just saying.
Just saying, misbehaving as always. That's for sure.
Uh huh.
Speaking of misbehaving, let me see something. I'm just texting Will and David to see if we can get them come in because they got to be home by now.
Well,
Yep, trying
I
to
could
get
tell you
them.
right now. You know, I could tell you. Hello,
I'm
can you still
listening.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
you.
Okay,
yeah, we're listening.
no, I'm just saying. Hold on, what is going on with my? Okay, there you go. I don't know what was going on with my screen. No, the thing is though, you said you was texting David and Will. Like I could take. Well, I told you, Will, he's probably still traveling.
Well, yeah, but
But I'll tell you what. No, I take that back. He should be home because once he got
it is
home,
10:30, isn't it?
Mrs. Will probably told him to go sit on the egg again.
Oh,
Probably, yeah. Probably has. Unless he's in the doghouse.
again.
Yeah.
And David, and like I said, I really like, like I said, I really like David, but sometimes when you over 700 years old, you got the rest. Hey, if you don't know, um, Jen, if you don't know, he started with the old jokes on his show Friday morning, so I'm just continuing them.
I get you. I get you.
Uh, yeah.
I'm like, you know, he started them, so I'm like, okay, well, I just continue with him. I'm like, I'm not doing them to be mean. I'm like, Doc,
He's not doing
if
them
I
to be mean. He's not doing them
if
to
I
be
already
mean, but
told him,
he's
I
doing them to
told
be
him
mean.
if I roast you in a good way, that means I really like you.
Yeah. Well, I noticed you hadn't been roasting Gin Girl, Gin's World.
Well, I don't know too
That
much
means you
about
don't
you.
like me. It means you don't like me,
Yeah.
Mr. Thomas.
No, I like you. It's just too much. I don't know you yet. It's just the fact, I probably could picture what you look like because I'm just listening to your voice and how you sound. I would say, you have probably like brunette, or like either brunette or black hair,
You got one
or
point right.
and then you have like these huge Coke bottle glasses. You
Well, they're not
know,
that big.
I mean, these huge glasses, and then for no reason at all, I could probably tell you like to correct people when they say something. Well, that's not the right way to say it. You have to say it this way.
I don't think she does that.
Not, I don't.
No, she
I'm
doesn't.
I'm not saying that she's a nerd because she is called nerd girl. I'm not saying that
Oh,
she's a
wait,
nerd.
wait.
She's not like
No, no,
she's
no.
not she's not
Not
like
only is
Steve
she,
nerd. No,
I'm not Steve Urkel level of nerd. I'm more
she's a cool nerd,
exactly.
this
and,
is
but
a
she
cool.
owns
Yeah,
that. She owns the nerd badge.
I'm like, there's nothing wrong with being a
Not only
nerd because
did she earned it, and
there's
she
nothing
owns it.
there's
Right,
nothing
nerd
wrong with being
girl?
a. I would rather be friends with I would rather be friends with the nerds in school than with the jocks that was in school because there's nothing wrong with that because the jocks act like they don't know you. The nerds they was cool. I would rather be their friends.
Well, yeah, you wanted to have friends that would let you copy off their paper.
Well, no, that's
You
not
get extra.
true because I had that's not true because I wasn't a nerd but I knew my stuff anyway in school. So it just
I bet you were like Urkel in high school. You went
who
around
me?
going, "Did I do that?"
Speaking of Urkel, and we were talking about reboots earlier. Family Matters is getting a reboot on Hulu.
They ill.
Oh,
I
that's
did
not
not know.
going to do well. It seems like when Hulu or Netflix is trying to do a reboot on a show that was popular, oh God, it's going to be awful.
They some of these TGIF shows they just need to leave alone. They need to leave them back in the '90s because they was good in the '90s. They was
Those
good.
shows were great back in the day, but at a certain point, they did jump to Shark 2.
It's
And
just like a few years ago, they remade Knight Rider but replaced Kit with a Mustang. I'm like, no, what you do that
It
for?
is a Corvette. That is canon. You don't mess with that.
No,
Kit was a Pontiac Trans Am.
no, Kit was a
Oh,
Trans Am. Yeah, he wasn't a
oh yeah,
Corvette.
yeah. You're right. You're right.
But you got to
It's like
realize, though,
it really felt like that you
you're
just
not going
called
to get a
me
new
out.
Trans Am anymore. There's no
Wait a
Pontiac
minute,
does not exist.
wait a minute, hold on. It just felt like she cussed me out right now because she called Kit a Corvette.
Um, well, Mr. Nerd Girl's dad was a Corvette collector. He actually had about 3 or 4. So,
Okay,
and for
it's
me at
almost
the time, it was just the hoods on Trans Ams and Corvettes to me were very
looked the
similar.
same.
So
Yeah,
I would commonly get that confused. So, my bad, Mr. Thomas.
no,
Yeah, if you
it's
think
all
about it,
good, but
Chevrolet,
it
who makes Corvettes, and Pontiac, who makes Trans Am, both were GM products, GM companies. So I could see
oh, that's
maybe
true.
that there was some
I
correlation
mean,
in designs.
I mean, Michigan actually got a city named Pontiac. So,
Yep.
and then
Yep.
it's actually a city right outside of Detroit named Pontiac. I'm pretty sure there's probably someone named Chevrolet. I'm not sure, but hey,
Well, it's kind of like Buick was named after the guy that founded Buick, and Ford was named well because Henry Ford. But I don't know how Chevrolet as came as far as name is concerned. But
Do
Pontiac
you
was actually an Indian chief.
do you know what Ford stand for?
First on race day.
Okay, that's what you think it stand for.
No, that was what it stands for.
Well,
My show, my rules.
I said it stand for found on road dead. So
I, oh
that's
no,
what
that's what a Chevrolet does.
no, not Chevys. Some Fords, but not all. But not Chevys, but some GMCs, but not Fords. I mean, not Chevrolets.
I hate to say this, Rob, but Ford and Chevrolet are the same thing. I mean, excuse me, Chevrolet and GMC. Those are the same trucks, just a little minor cosmetic designs.
Well, okay, let me put it like this. I actually drive a GMC SUV. And okay, let me put it like this. If you have okay, a Chevy Tahoe. No, let me put it. If you have a Chevy Suburban and you have a GMC, what is it? A GMC that's made the same. It looked the same way. So I think it's called a Sahara. It's the same way, but it looked the same on the outside, but on the inside, it's different.
Yeah, I know that probably one might be more luxurious than the other, but truthfully, they're the
No,
same
but
truck.
they got yeah they almost the same trucks, but on the ins it's a difference if you really once you drive them and everything, you can tell the difference.
But I'm just saying that the engine is the same engine. One might
Okay,
have
yeah.
one might have the more insulation for to keep it the road noise quieter.
You know what? Since you mentioned engine, do I need to? Since you mentioned engine, to end this, do I need to recite what I heard from the South said, saying that his car count as a horse and carriage because of the horse, the was it the horsepower that was in the engine? Did y'all see that video?
Yeah.
If I was a police officer, I just would like, you know what, you go about your day. I would, if I was like, you know what, you have a good day. I'm like, I can't believe what this guy just told me that because of the horsepower in his engine, it's
Yay!
considered a horse carriage.
David,
Hey guys, I just wanted to stop in
Yay!
and say hi for a minute. I just got
yeah,
home.
hey David, Rob's got a few things he's got to tell you.
Uh oh.
Oh, I see David. I see you finally here. I heard the door creak open. What's up?
Not much. How you doing, man? What do you got to tell me? What is this I need to hear?
Well, David told me that. Well, not David, but Doc told me to ask you when you sold Lincoln his tickets to Ford Theater. How much did you sell them to him for?
He was the president, so he got complimentary copies.
And he told me to ask you, was you friends with John Wilkes Booth? Did you serve with
No,
him?
that guy was a scumbag. He was mean. He was very arrogant. He was kind of rude.
You
So
see
you
that
didn't get
they?
any autographs.
Yeah. Did you guys hear
You
they
see?
found a picture? They found a picture of him up in Canada. I forget. It was like at a uniform shop or something in Montreal where he was hanging out with two or three guys and holding a gun in his hand. And this lady found his picture in her attic somewhere and just took it to the museum to have, see if they could tell her anything about it. And sure enough, it was John Wilkes Booth sitting there in that picture. One of the very few pictures of him that exist.
Huh.
Good night.
Very, very, very interesting. And hey, Florida Jim is in the house.
And I
You see
can't
that?
stay but a couple minutes, but I wanted to pop in and say hi.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad.
In fact,
I'm glad you came in, and I was trying to figure out why did Doc have me say those mean things to you.
Yeah, right. I'm sure it was all Doc's idea. Right,
Well,
Doc? It was
Nerd
all
Girl,
your fault.
yeah, you know what how Rob is.
well,
Mm-hmm.
But
Nerd
we
Girl
got an
tried to get,
international show.
well,
We
Nerd
got
Girl
an
tried to get to stop him, but
I what?
I was just saying, Doc, Nerd Girl was trying to get you to stop Doc for telling me, to get me to tell stuff to him like that.
Well,
I thought that,
Mr.
I
Thomas,
thought that,
you did. Dang it. You did say you wanted to know a little bit more about me, so you can, roast me over the coals properly. where I got the actual moniker of Nerd Girl. Um, not because it's my, my profession, but there's actually a song by MC Chris. He's an independent artist, and it's called Nerd Girl. So if you listen to the lyrics,
Okay.
I kind of, go along with those lyrics, at least some of them. So I just, picked up the moniker and ran with it. So
Okay, well,
it's
I'm gonna have to check that out then.
I'll put the link to the song in the private chat so you guys can check it out.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good. And front of watch, how's things going down under?
Patch, what's up, man?
Good morning. Sorry I'm late. I've only just woken up.
He's just waking up, and we're probably looking over here saying, "It's getting close time for bed."
Well,
I mean,
I mean it is.
I mean,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
well,
10
we got to remember that Australia's kind of backwards
and upside down.
and
They're
upside
upside
down.
down, and
Yeah,
but they do travel into the future a lot.
they do. But and here's the thing: how's the weather like over there in Australia?
It's rather cool. It's only about I would say around 50 degrees Fahrenheit at the moment.
Hey, Fronder Watch, did I hear correctly that they had snow in Sydney
They
last week?
didn't actually hear that they had snow in Sydney. I know that New South Wales does get snow,
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought that.
but not so much like Sydney itself because that's on the coast. You've got to go more inland into the Blue Mountains and they get snow there. Victoria gets snow. Tasmania can get some snow.
You know what? It may have been Victoria. It may have been Melbourne. Now that I think about it, maybe it was Melbourne. I think
But
it was.
even so, Melbourne normally doesn't get snow.
Well, that's but it made. That's why I was asking because it made the news because it was so unusual, wherever it was.
Let's talk about snow in June. What would you guys say if I told you I walked in snow in middle of July in the state of Florida? Would you believe me?
I have a Tasmanian devil to tell you then.
Well, I mean, it is Florida, so
Just the
anything
way he's
happens
asking
down
that
there.
question, I think there's something going on here. But
Yeah.
No, but he is kind of right though because when it was back in January or February, I'm in North Florida and we did receive almost like a foot and a half of snow.
Yeah, well, and yes, we got a lot of snow here too in this part of Florida. But to answer my question, would you believe me if I told you I walked in snow in the middle of July in the state of Florida?
well, what freezer were you walking inside of?
Well, see, that's a good question, David. That you're actually heading me in the right direction. It was not a freezer.
Oh, okay. Where was it?
It was actually a lab that
Oh,
recreates weather
Okay.
conditions,
Well, that makes sense.
including snow.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I'll believe you then. Yeah, I'll say
Yeah,
yes, you did.
Yeah, I'll believe him, I guess.
Yeah. Now, I won't say when we get into private chat. I mean, after the show, I'll say
So-
what the lab was, but it's a very, very interesting little facility.
Well,
But,
I have a question for Fraud to watch though, and I think I just brought it up. You know, is the Tasmanian devil really extinct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
really?
think so. Yeah, I think they are. Yeah.
Yeah. The
but
last one died some time ago, but yeah, they are extinct.
I think don't they have a few in zoos, or
No.
does it,
No.
do they die off too?
They are dead.
Oh wow, that's a bummer.
yeah. And they're mostly in New Zealand, though, when they were around, right?
No, they're called Tasmanian devils because they
They're in
live
Tasmania.
in Tasmania.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
there
is
was-
the furthest south part of Australia, which would be the furthest north part if we were in the U.S. It gets the
Okay.
coldest and has the snow and everything.
Okay,
Right.
well, guys, I got something I want. Since I think when Rob was here, no, Rob was coming in and out. So I got something I want you guys to hear.
He was actually kicking me out.
Yeah. Here you
This
go.
is big news, guys.
He kicked me out the
YouTuber sues
bar.
frauditor troll for copyright infringement over police accountability. Video San
Infringement
Francisco,
over police
June
accountability.
3, 2025.
Video San
Heated
Francisco.
clash between two corners of YouTube has landed in federal court as First Amendment auditor Christopher J. Cordova, known online as Denver Metro Audits, filed lawsuit against Canadian-based content creator Jonathan Hunialt, who operates under the alias Frauditor Troll. Filed in the Northern District of California, the lawsuit accuses Hunialt of willfully infringing on Cordova's copyrighted video by republishing over 27 minutes, more than half of the original 48-minute work. The video, titled Another Chad Exposed, worthless Denver cops assaulted, was published on Cordova's channel to spotlight alleged police misconduct and promote government accountability. Unalt's repackaged version, Fraud or DMA, gets confronted by angry citizen. Hilarious. Adding minimal sarcastic commentary according to the complaint, and was monetized through YouTube ads. Cordova claims the reposted content was neither transformative nor educational and failed to provide credit or direct viewers to the original source. This isn't commentary, it's theft dressed up as ridicule, said Cordova's attorney, Reynolds Newman. In the 13-page complaint, the defendant's model relies on mocking others while profiting from their creative labor. Cordova, who is part of a larger YouTube movement.
Well, you know what's
so-called
interesting?
First Amendment
Lucid,
auditors.
Lair, and a couple other people have pointed out something that I was kind of wondering about too, and that is one of the things you have to prove in a lawsuit like this is that it's reducing your market share or reducing your marketability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Exactly.
They are not the same markets. I mean, I'm sorry, other than the platform they're on, I doubt that any of the viewers that watch Fraud or Troll with any regularity watch DMA with any regularity, and vice versa. I think that's going to come back to bite them big time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know who was doing the zipper thing. I don't know, but it just seemed like it was perfect with going along with the voice. I'm just saying.
Oh, sorry, that was me. I was opening my pen case. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, I'm just saying it was almost perfect because of the voice. And
but I don't see. I mean, part of the thing that nobody's really remembering is that DMA already appealed this to YouTube. I mean, he submitted a strike to YouTube. Fraud or Troll apparently, submitted a counterclaim, and YouTube ruled against DMA and told him to go kick rocks. So, I mean, it's already been ruled on by the platform in question, which is going to weaken DMA's case considerably in court.
Oh yeah, it's going to. It's a nothing burger.
Well, but those two I'm surprised something like this hasn't happened a long time ago. Those two have been going after each other for years.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But you know what? I think DMA's just spending money to spend money. Do I need to continue? This is just like
But the thing is, though, if you look at it, I think it's two things. DMA, I think he just, I think his feelings is just hurt. And second, I think he sees that how many views that Fraud or Troll has, got on his videos, and he sees how many he had on his videos. I think that's what the whole thing is.
Well, and he's got a point, because Fraud or Troll, I mean, yes, Fraud or Troll does some good work, I guess, but a lot of the stuff, I mean, a lot of his stuff really isn't much more than insulting and making rude comments interspersed while the video's running. I mean, he used to be a lot better at that, but he seems to have kind of gotten lazy. I think he's gotten a little lazy as time's going on. And then, there are some others on our side that I've got a real problem with how they I mean, they're getting abusive and they're getting insulting, and it's just becoming a personal thing. There's several that I probably should remain nameless, but there's several that are getting really just they're making it personal, and that's not what we need to be doing.
Yeah. Best way to do this is.
Are you grading papers?
No, I'm writing on paper.
Mm-hmm.
But
the best way but I think best way is to do this. Yeah, make some slight remarks, make it a little comical, but at the same time point out why their beliefs are are wrong legally. Why that what they're saying on these videos is not right.
Well, and another thing I don't get, and even though I understand that they agree when they, when you do the YouTube terms of service, you agree to if there are any legal cases, any civil cases or something, you agree to do it in the jurisdiction that YouTube is established in. But Fraud or Troll is a Canadian citizen that lives in Ontario. I'm not sure how they're ever going to enforce this.
They're not. It's not. They're not going to get it served. I don't think. I think it's just going to end up being a big waste of time.
I mean, yeah, Fraud or Troll, maybe, I don't know. I don't really have a dog in that fight, but he's a subject of King Charles. He's a Canadian citizen. He's not an American, and an American lawsuit, is not going to carry any weight in Canada. Unless I missed something.
Honestly, I don't think DMA have a case at all. That's just my point of view. I don't think he has a case whatsoever.
He might have had a case for defamation, maybe, possibly, maybe. But yeah, the copyright thing, no. I just don't see that. I don't see how he's going to have standing to make that point.
I think all this is just to get Fraud of the Troll's identity. I think this is what is.
That was a big part of it. I guarantee it. And Troll has been outed now, big time.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to add this. He already had that identity because a number of times that he did make a false copyright strike against Fraud or Troll. He would already had that information because when you counter, you're releasing the name too.
But do you know what he looked like? I think that's just the whole thing. I think nobody knows what he looked like.
Well, once you had a name, and let's face it, that is a very unique last name.
Mm-hmm.
Once you had his name, it's not that hard to start Googling and actually finding images. It's not hard to go looking in Facebook and finding him.
But do you think if DMA was smart enough to do that, don't you think he probably would have posted this already?
What, the lawsuit?
No, Fraud of the Troll's identity.
Yeah.
But I think that Troll's identity was kind of already out there because allegedly didn't Troll and his wife sue a hotel for like bed bugs?
Yeah, there was something about that, and
they did, and I think they lost that case because he talked about it. They lost it.
Right. Yeah, they did have that case that take place, and I think some people knew who he was because of the lawsuit. The picture that if you hadn't saw it in an email that was sent to some of us, that picture I've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
But I had no way of confirming whether or not that picture was actually him or not. So I never said anything about it.
And and then when you look over that, his complaint, he mentioned the anti-frauditor channels. I'm like, KFAR is not even an anti-frauditor channels. He cover police cams, and sob sticks.
Well, I agree. That whole lawsuit sounds like it was written by ChatGPT. It really does.
Exactly.
Yeah, it does.
And Lisa said that in her video. That bit sounded like it came from ChatGPT because it was just too. I don't know. I can't think of the word I want to use.
And if you were a civil attorney and you let ChatGPT write your entire motion or your entire lawsuit or your entire pleading or whatever it is you're working on, that's a big bozo no-no.
I would agree with that. But let me just ask this what if statement. What if one reason the attorney took the case was because, hey, this is going to be a quick couple $1,000. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because it's not going to go anywhere. So, hey, legal assistant, use ChatGPT and get this written up for me. But is that feasible? Is that possible? Just throwing it out there.
Well,
It
if he
could be.
had his assistant write it, then that's another problem too. He's supposed to be writing it. That's why he gets.
He's supposed to write it, but the assistant typing it. But yeah, okay. But he wrote it, but he used ChatGPT for a lot of his research.
I mean, hasn't there been cases where attorneys have used ChatGPT? It's hit the judge's desk and he's gone, "You got to be
Oh yeah,
kidding," and
Yeah, there
throw
has
him out, and then they've actually sanctioned the attorney for using ChatGPT or using AI to create the cases, particularly when they find out that they cite cases that don't actually ever exist.
Private chat, Doc.
I
I
see it.
found what. Yeah, I found what Watch is mentioning.
Okay, yeah, I'm copying that link and I'm going to take a look at it. All right. Yeah, it's. Oh, okay. How to use ChatGPT to ruin your legal career? Ooh boy, I think I've seen this one too. Legal Eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's do this.
Hey, Doc, just before you start that,
Uh huh.
I need to make a correction to my statement about the Tasmanian devil.
Uh huh.
They are still alive on Tasmania. They went extinct on the mainland
Oh, okay.
about
Okay.
3,000 years ago. And there is a program to try and increase their numbers. But yeah, they are still alive, but only in the wild on Tasmania itself.
Okay.
So I thought I'd better
Thank
throw
you.
out a correction on that.
Yeah, I was kind of sad to hear that there was no more Tasmanian Devil because he was like one of my favorites in the Looney Tune cartoons.
I was waiting for you to say
Shot.
that.
Rob knows me a little too well.
I was waiting for you to say that.
But yeah, I had to go there.
See, what the thing is though, when you give it to the part when I said we was naming prominent anti-fraudulent channels. He put K-Fire in there, which K-Fire did a video about it today. I was like, I would think he would have put Tones Overthinks It in there, Tones in there, because
Yeah.
Tones did a ton of videos about him.
Yeah, I was surprised he wasn't listed. That is, which was one reason I thought it was ChatGPT. And
Well,
in case
either
you was wondering why it's such a big deal for attorneys to use ChatGPT, let me just give you a little background here. It's not actually a sanctionable offense to use ChatGPT, but it can lead to all kinds of things that are sanctionable. Like, ChatGPT is famous for getting information wrong and not getting information correct, which can, that's always, if you start submitting briefs that have fabricated information, you're going to get a sanctions pile on your desk so fast you won't know what hit you. There's always the issue of neglecting due diligence. There's all kinds of things, and then confidentiality can be breached inadvertently if they don't go back and read every word that ChatGPT wrote. They may accidentally violate, lawyer-client privilege, and there's a lot of reasons. If they're using ChatGPT, they need to be a whole lot more careful than apparently this guy was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. And like I said, I can see this particular attorney seeing that this really is not a case, but when he took it because he was getting paid.
Of course, I don't know that. I mean, he may have done his due diligence, and maybe it's okay. I don't know. I don't know enough
Maybe.
about the
Yeah.
case to
We
say
don't know. Right. Yeah. Hey, Will, get on up here. Will, come on. You got the link. Come on.
oh
This is
Lord, you
your.
mean to tell me he got off the egg?
Yeah.
Guys, leave Will alone. He's a newlywed. It's the best time of his life.
Well,
Let him enjoy it.
No.
The
See,
wife
last
took,
night
the wife took the thumb off of him.
I made a promise to expose that I was gonna be nice to him. This is not exposing.
Well, be nice anyway. Come on, man.
I get.
Yeah.
You know
I'm
what?
going to go ahead.
For you, David, I will. I will be. I will be nice to him.
All All right, I'm going to see if this is going to work because unfortunately I had problems with Restream loading properly in Chrome, so I'm using Mozilla Firefox, and it's kind of a little bit of different feel when I try to share screen. So hopefully this will work. Okay, did y'all hear the audio from that?
No.
No.
Dang it.
No.
Okay. Dang it. Okay, let me look at it again. Bear with me. Let me stop sharing. All right, I'm going to do this again, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We might have to get someone else to share the screen.
Yeah, Doc, I've got it rolling. If yours doesn't work, I'll push it.
Yeah,
through.
share your screen. That, if you don't mind, please.
Sure. Let me make sure I've got nothing naughty bad on my screen first.
Yeah, no naughty bad stuff. That's one thing I definitely don't want to ever do is ask you to put something on the screen.
You know what? See, this is why I say Jen is the resident computer genius of this group. She's just like Penny from Inspector Gadget. She knows exactly about all the computers and how it works.
Well, she
Well,
better.
thank you.
She better.
Yeah.
If
I
she
mean, you
doesn't,
know,
she needs to have a talk with somebody.
Yep. I
I
have
mean, she just,
a
she just like y'all ever seen the movie The Incredibles? She just like the little short lady with the black hair.
Yep.
Edna Mold.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, I got it up.
All right. Audio check.
Can you tell me about a lawyer who around and found out?
There you go.
I'm sorry, I can't find the information. I'm only up to date through 2021.
I have the information right here. Oh, so AI is
Hey,
going
guys.
to replace lawyers. Well, not anytime.
Did you say
Hey
something?
guys, I need to take off. I didn't realize it was this late. I just wanted to pop in and say hi. So y'all have a good night, okay?
All right, good night.
I gotta be up early for church tomorrow. So I'll see you guys later. Take care.
All right, take care, buddy.
Everybody have a great
Very
night.
soon, because it finally happened. We've had our first sighting of AI lawyering in the wild, and it was bad. It was very, very bad. Two lawyers in New York deputized ChatGPT to do their legal research in an airline tort case and found themselves in a direct flight to sanctions land courtesy of one very pissed off federal judge. These guys may have ended their legal careers for a case which was always dead on arrival. And along the way, they became internet famous, bringing the entire legal community together to point and laugh as one. So, thanks guys. So our story begins back in August of 2019 on flight 670 from San Salvador to New York's JFK airport. Passenger Roberto Mata claims that an employee of Avianca Airlines, quote, struck him in his left knee with a metal serving cart, causing him to suffer severe personal injuries. In February of 2022, Mata sued in New York State Court, alleging.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's pause for a moment so we can address a couple things about it because we want to keep, we don't want any copyright strikes.
Of course.
Okay. So I am actually sharing the link to the actual video for everyone in the chat. And the channel name is Legal Eagle. So definitely we want to check him out. Subscribe if you like what you see here.
Is a dog barking?
Yeah,
that's one of mine. Sorry.
At least the dog's not jumping on your desk and trying to entertain everybody.
They have tried in the past.
All right.
You must see one of Doc's cats out there.
No, all my cats are inside, so they should be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think my dog's sleeping with my daughter or my wife at the moment.
Oh, your dog's got it spoiled. Yeah,
Well,
sounds like like your dog's almost as spoiled as my cats.
It is a retired greyhound.
Oh man, that's one dog I would not mind adopting as a retired
That's
greyhound.
awesome.
Mind you, we've had probably about 50 of them.
Well, okay. Yeah, that's being that in Florida we used to have greyhound racing. That's gone now. I
Yeah,
always thought, yeah.
take them out for a run.
I'm sorry.
I said, don't take them out for a run. They'll leave you.
Oh yeah, they will leave you.
Actually, they're not that bad, Mister Thomas. They
No,
once
no,
they
no. I'm not
retire,
saying it's bad.
once they retire, they're really lazy and they'll just walk around. Or at least the ones we've have. When they've escaped from the house, they've for some reason gone down to the school and just stayed there. So I think they might have been trying to get an education, but they are a beautiful
No.
dog to have.
Have you ever
Mhm.
seen the miniature greyhounds? Those are pretty, just a smaller
Whippets,
version of I guess.
yes,
I guess that's what they
yeah,
call. Yeah.
that's what they are. They're whippets. Yeah, they are. They're a really nice little dog. They make a great watchdog. They don't make a great guard dog.
Mhm.
Okay, but let me ask you this, Fraud Watt, since you're from Australia. Okay, but what's the difference between a regular dog and a dingo? Because to anybody, a dingo looks like a regular dog.
They are part of the canine breed. They're a wild. They're actually a cross between two different species. And the dingo was introduced to Australia. It's not an Australian native animal. You can get
Oh,
permits to um, have a dingo as a pet, um, but they are a wild dog. Um,
Yeah,
so there's
there
really not a
are.
lot.
I have seen skulls of dingoes and skulls of regular dogs. There is a difference between the skulls. So, but that's a good question though, Rob, because yeah, I always look at dingoes on TV before and said, yeah, they look very much like a dog.
yeah, because you could tell the difference between, you know, like you say, between an African dog, an African wild dog, then you have a dingo, and then you have just like the what they call just an American. I wouldn't say American dog because an American dog is mostly like a beagle. But they look like a very short hair golden retriever with the hair cut off, shaved off. That's what I think they look like.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Uh, yeah, I can see that. It's been a while since I saw a picture of a dingo, so I have a hard time placing in my head what they look like.
They look like a very large fox. If you look at the head,
Oh yeah,
there's,
yeah, I
there's
see it.
very
I mean,
foxy.
they're cute looking. They are cute looking. I'm
They
looking at
are
a picture.
they're an apex predator. So um,
They might be cute.
Yeah.
They might be cute, but you probably don't want to mess with them, huh?
not out in the wild. We have a very famous case about dingoes here in Australia, and a very common catchphrase uh, because of that case.
Yep, I know that
Um,
one.
It has something to do with a. You know what? I'm not gonna even say it because I think I know what you all talking about.
the dingo took my baby. The dingo took my baby.
Well, yeah, that one. But I was gonna say the dingo ate the baby.
Yeah, well, there's the dingo ate the baby. The dingo took the baby. A lot of people didn't believe it, but there have been recent cases where um, the dingoes have been taking things and attacking people. So now there's sort of the tide's turning a little bit on that case. But there's a lot in that case where nobody actually believes that it was the dingo's fault, but
Oh,
it did a lot of harm to the dingo at the time.
right. Yeah.
In Australia, And Australia is also the home of the Aborigines, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
um, okay, let's
The
get
Ab-
technical. The word Aboriginal means native to that land. So the United States has
right.
their own Aboriginals. They're called Native Indians
Native
or North
Americans. Yeah.
Americans. Um, any we just here in Australia we just associate the blacks with um, native Australians, the indigenous population, which they actually have their traces going back to the Philippines, to Indonesia, Papua New Guinea before all the land masses parted ways. You can actually trace them back to. Oh, that's cute. You
Oh,
can
no, you're
trace them
looking
back.
at it. You see what I'm saying? They're cute looking.
Yeah, they're nice and cute when they're that young, and they're playful, and they like to be a little bit friendly. But when they get older and they get more adultish, yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with one of them, even as a one that's been raised as a pup as a pet, because they're just too
I
temperamental.
take that.
I'd rather try to make friends with a police department canine than try to make friends with a dingo in the wild.
Yeah. Now that I look at it, they do look like German shepherds. Kind of look like a German shepherd.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but yeah, I had to show that picture. I saw just looking them up. I was telling them like, yeah, they're cute little pups.
It's just the thing. Australia to me, Australia is just a very unique place to go to visit. But the thing is, though, y'all have some really big snakes. It's almost like you can't go nowhere without a venomous snake or these huge jumping spiders.
Look,
And
look, look.
don't forget the Crocs. Don't forget the Crocs
Look,
too.
let's
Yeah,
put all of this. Let's bury this once and for all. Okay. Yes, we do have some dangerous animals here. Yes, we do have 9 out of the 10 deadliest snakes in Australia. Um, just to level the playing field here, the rattlesnake comes in at about, or one of the species of the rattlesnake comes in at about number 12. Yes, we have some of the deadliest spiders over here. Yes, we have jumping spiders. Yes, we have nasty little white-tailed spiders. If they bite you, your skin starts to deteriorate and fall off. Um,
well, we had those over here. You don't want to get bit by a black widow or either a recluse spider.
the black widow is just a bloody redback spider. They're,
We have
you
those here
know,
in Florida. The black
we have
widows.
redbacks over here as well. We believe that the redback, we actually think the redback came over to Australia from the US in back in the old days during the shipping. When they used to ship stuff over here. Before containerization, we believe it came over from that many hundred years ago. And they are a related species, but of course ours have adapted. But you know what? You can come over here to Australia. You can walk around any of the suburbs, any of the cities, and you're not going to run into our deadly population. I mean, we have sharks, so does Florida. Um,
Yeah, we
yes,
do.
we have
It's,
crocodiles.
it's actually mating season, so if you go to the beaches here in Florida, you will see them.
And I mean, you come over now, it's winter, so the snakes have all gone into hibernation until, the warmer weather. What's that? Finds huge red-bellied black snake.
And I mean, like you said, you go into
Like a snake.
the suburbs here in Florida, you may see a couple of deer walk around in somebody's neighborhood. You may see a bear, or better yet, the Florida panther, which is basically a mountain lion.
I thought that
You
was
may
an ice hockey team.
no,
I mean, now,
you live in Florida. You didn't know we have Florida Panthers.
Yeah, they're an ice hockey team.
we have the Florida Panthers in the Everglades. You know, they have them in Colorado, which is nothing
Well, I'm
but
sure that they like to hang out
nice.
in the Everglades every now and then during the off
Or
season.
better yet, or better yet, a cougar. The Cougars. That's what they are. And I'm not saying that older
Wait,
women
wait, wait, wait,
necessarily
wait now.
think.
Wait, 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 wait now. You know we got a bunch of cougars around.
I don't know. You know, Jen could be a cougar. We don't know.
I am not
Oh.
that old.
But yeah, you know, like I said, you know, I'm just going to what Florida Watch said. You know, you walk into the suburbs, you won't see the you know the wow. But if you come here, you go certain places here in the state, especially you know, like I was just saying in the suburbs, or either, well, you know, raccoons. Raccoons supposed to be in the in the wilderness, but you can see raccoons in the city.
Well, I'm going to just say this: the two most dangerous animals in Florida, and you find them everywhere. Number two, meth heads. Number one,
Wow.
Floridian drivers.
Well, yeah, I'll agree with you on number two. We've got them over here, the meth heads. I have not seen a Floridian driver over here, so I don't know how dangerous they are.
Oh,
I have
they
seen
are
some.
dangerous.
I have seen some Perth drivers who I think would give a Floridian driver, from what you're saying, a run for their money.
Uh,
I
Well, why don't we
we
do?
we
Let's do a trade. We get a Perth. You send us a Perth driver, and we send you Doc. You know, and let Doc go over there. You know, show him what a Floridian driver is. See, I'm a safe driver. Doc just got a ticket a couple of days ago. I'm a safe driver.
dude,
So,
you love fiction, don't you? You love
okay.
fiction.
So what'd you get your ticket for, Doc?
I didn't get a ticket,
improper lane
It's
change and only rolled his window halfway down.
and you know,
halfway down.
and when I got pulled over, I refused to show my driver's license and registration. That when they pulled me out of the vehicle, I started yelling that I can't breathe, my shoulder hurts, I'm pregnant. They still
Now,
Wow.
arrested me. They
that I'd like
still
to see.
arrested me. I mean,
But
No,
if you said you're pregnant, they're not allowed to put handcuffs on you, isn't that correct?
exactly, yes. I also said that I was a nurse, a teacher, and was in the military, and they still arrested me.
no, you
You
also
know,
have to add. You also have to add. My cousin, sister, brother works for the police department.
Oh yeah, and I have a criminal justice degree, and you don't know what you're doing.
but you forgot the big one, Doc. You forgot the one that counteracts everything. UCC 1308 that you do
Exactly.
not
That was
contract. That you forgot that one. That's why everything went through. If you had thrown that one out there, it would have been hands off. Sorry, sir. Off you go. Have a nice day.
Oh my goodness,
and then the police officer mentioned the 10th Amendment to him, and he was like, "I don't recognize that. I do not recognize the 10th Amendment. I
You
can
know,
count
I
the
was
10,
watching
but I don't recognize the 10th Amendment."
I was watching one of the court cases, and this guy had a speeding ticket, and it was 87 and a 75. And the officer's up there on the stand. He's given all his speech, and then this guy turns around and says, "Well, radar can't be 100%. Nothing can be 100% because I'm in the medical industry, and you know everything's about 95 percentile." Anyway, the judge had enough of him, shut him down, turned around and said, "Find you guilty. $57. I think it was $57 for the speeding fine, $108 for court costs and whatnot. So your total fine's now $168. We give you 14 days to pay, or you can appeal it. But if you're going to appeal it, you got to pay $168 to appeal it." And I'm thinking, yeah, you're going to do that because you're stupid. You're going to pay the 168 to appeal it. You're going to go to the appeals court. You're going to lose in the appeals court. You're going to have to pay another $168 on top of that for a $57 bloody speeding ticket. How stupid can you be?
I'm about ready to say $57. Yeah, here you go. Buy it. I hate that I have to give you $57, but my time's more precious than me fighting over this for $57.
And of course, the district attorney that was, or the prosecutor in there, yeah, he's just sitting there going, "Oh God, oh God, no, I object, Your Honour. This is hearsay. This hasn't been introduced into evidence. I object. I object. I object. I object." And of course, the judge is going, "Sustain, sustain, sustain, sustain." The poor cop's sitting there going, "I'm going to retire. I have to retire. I'm going to retire. I can't do this anymore." And it was just like, "Come on, mate. It's a $57 ticket, for Christ's sake."
It is
You
what
know,
it is. So,
honestly, do you think a $57 ticket, man? I would just, if that was me, a $57 ticket, I would just pay. I wouldn't even bother going to court. Just pay it.
yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's kind of like, do I really want to waste my time to fight a $57 ticket? How much is my time worth to me? Uh, so, quick question for you guys. I am going to be looking at doing this mostly on Saturdays from now on instead of Sundays for a lot of different reasons. Uh, do you like this concept where we're just basically I call it a virtual bar. We're just sitting down, we're hanging out, we're having drinks. Well, actually, I've already asked. I'm really actually at this point asking Fraud to watch. He's probably over there drinking his Foster's
Excuse me.
or eating his Vegemite.
It sounds like
Actually,
he
I'm
has some
sitting
really
here.
strong coffee.
I need a coffee. I'm actually sitting here drinking leftover Coke from last night after working. So, but yeah, it's like, as I said, it's, I don't know what time you started. What was it? 2 hours ago? 3 hours ago. So that's
We're
8 o'clock. A little bit of, well, I mean, I could be drinking because I've just come off of a night shift. So it would be acceptable to drink. But no, I've just been sitting here sipping on my Coke.
yeah.
Wait a minute.
No,
So
I'm just saying.
what time is it in Australia right now?
It is 11:24 a.m. on Sunday, the 15th of June.
Yeah, because it's 11:24 here, so you are 24 hours ahead of us. So yeah, you deserve some some type of alcohol.
You
It's
okay?
it's almost noon.
He's 12 hours ahead of you, not 24 hours.
He just said it was
Uh,
11:24. By my clock, it's
A.M.
11:24.
A.M. A.M.
Yeah, yes, 11:24 a.m. and my clock says 11:24 p.m. So he's 24 hours ahead of
So
But
us.
you said 24 hours.
I'm 12 hours ahead of you.
Oh, you know what? It's time for me to go to bed.
Oh goodness.
I had a
Yeah.
com-
But
I had a complete brain fart right there.
yeah. So
Happens to
basically,
the best
Friday
of us.
Watch. So basically, Friday Watch. What do you think about this concept? Just basically, we come in, we're sitting at the virtual bar, and we're just shooting a bull, we're just having whatever conversation we're having.
Shooting the
You're trying to
breeze.
say shooting the breeze.
Yeah, and like you, I probably need to go to bed soon too.
Look,
Not trying to be hip.
stop interrupting me, Mr. Thomas. I like it. It's good. Throw it out there, see what you catch.
Yeah. So we'll play with this for the next few weeks. I have already stated in a couple of weeks I'm going to be in Oregon, and I'm going to actually do an episode. Knock on wood, if things line up right, I'm planning to do an actual episode while I'm in Oregon, and one of the things I would. But I would be doing it 7 p.m. their time, which means really late for 10 o'clock for Robert time.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. And probably, Jen, you're in the Eastern time zone too, right?
I am.
Okay. So 10 o'clock your time
Mhm.
on that particular, this is July 5th I'm talking about. So I thought that would be kind of interesting to do because I'm hoping, I have not seen all the pictures of the resort, but I'm hoping I can get myself actually with a nice background where I can do a live stream where you can see the mountains in where we're staying at. And if things go well and me and Ray can get together, we might actually do a live stream together.
That'd be good.
Yeah, oh, yes.
Yeah.
Might be one of those 20, 30 minutes. We're up on, hey, here we are. We're hanging out over at this location. This is what we're doing, and then moving on. But anyways, I do think it's time for us to start wrapping things up.
Well, we are
Uh,
leaving the bar, so neither one of us can drive. Some we make.
well, no,
I could.
Nerd Girl is hadn't drank, so she started designated driver. So she's driving us home.
I mean, yeah, she driving us home, but Narc girl came out on the bicycle.
And Friday Watch, is there anything you want to plug?
Not at the moment. Got a couple of things in the pipeline, but nothing at the moment. I mean, I don't know if you've seen it. I did do a video on dumbwaiter.
I did see it. What did you think about the news article and the narration from that particular individual?
Yeah.
Hang tight. I'll tell you more about that off there. Nerd Girl, anything to plug?
Nothing from my end. Just check out the channel. I always post in the community tab, and you can find me on Blue Sky at Wicked Planet Nerd.
Mr. Thomas, behave. And
Well, I'm gonna try.
and I'm also want to thank David for being here earlier, and to everybody that came and enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you come back. Bring a friend. Help me promote my channel. That'd be great. Until next time, take care of yourself.